Create Assistance keeps your business responsive, organized, and running even when you're off the clock. Stop letting leads slip through the cracks. Visit createassistance.ai to book a free call, or you can call or text 515-500-2224. Again, that's 515-500-2224. We look forward to hearing from you.
It was the Roman poet Virgil who said, "Easy is the descent to hell. All night long, all day, the doors of dark Hades stand open. But to retrace the path, to come out again to the sweet air of heaven, there is the task, there is the burden. If I cannot move heaven, I will raise hell." We'll talk about that later, but now it's time for Rick Tittle and Titillating Sports on Sports Byline USA. All right, hey, thank you so much, and welcome to another live edition, Thursday edition of Titillating Sports with Rick Tittle. How's it going, eh? What you got? Let's talk some sports at 1-800-878-PLAY. Which ones do you cover? All of them. So you're saying you're no, I'm not saying I'm an expert in anything. I'm just saying I'll talk about any sport you would want to at the toll-free line. Try me out, girl. Check me out. 1-800-878-PLAY. 1-800-878-7529. Get in and get heard wherever you might happen to be listening in baseball or football or basketball and all that good stuff. Hockey, Stanley Cup playoffs. What you got? We got guests. When do we not? We're going to start off with the Escape from Alcatraz Triathlon. Speak to a man in that organization. Also, writer/musician David Solbach for his book In the Shadow of the Plague. I almost thought it was In the Shadow of Prague. In the Plague. You know, we're fans of roller derby, and for many, many years, we have the Bay Area Derby players come in the studio, and they will. We'll have at least one Danger Muffin. We were going to have someone else, and they had to cancel, but maybe we'll have two. We'll at least have Danger Muffin. Is it your Christian name? Dick Girardi, the horse racing riding Hall of Famer. He'll join us to give us a Preakness preview at 10:40 Pacific. And then an interesting documentary entitled 90 Pounds of Dynamite. It's on Amazon Prime and Apple TV. It's the subject, Shorty McDaniel. He'll join along with the director, Loren Goldfarb. So we'll have those gentlemen at that time. 1-800-878-PLAY. Come on back.
This important consumer alert is from the Credit Repair Hotline, a national service designed to help people improve their credit scores. Are you paying high interest rates because of your credit rating? Wouldn't you like to be able to qualify for a better car loan or mortgage rate? Would lower monthly payments give you more financial flexibility? If you're finally ready to fix your credit problem, you need to call today and get a free consultation from the Credit Repair Hotline. In one fast and easy call, we can pull your credit rating and show you real solutions how to improve your credit. And again, this is part of a 100% free consultation. Learn how you can save money on everyday purchases by having a better credit rating. And it all starts with this free phone call right now.
800-413-6214. 800-413-6214. 800-413-6214. That's 800-413-6214.
Have you suffered sports betting losses? There is someone who wants to fight for you to see you get back what you have lost to those sports betting companies. Michael Watts is a prolific trial lawyer with over $11 billion in total recoveries for his clients. And now with sportsbettingclaim.com, he'd like to help you. Michael has been a leader in some of the largest and most complex cases in the country. From defective cars and tires to damaging drugs and medical products, he has always represented the rights of individuals harmed by large corporations. His efforts recently resulted in the recovery of billions for individuals who lost their properties to fires carelessly caused by electric companies and others. Michael knows that sports betting companies preyed on and manipulated consumers into losing their life savings, and he wants to make them pay. If you have suffered financial hardship as a result of online sports betting and would like help seeking compensation, please submit your claim information for evaluation at sportsbettingclaim.com. Michael Watts is focused on winning for you. sportsbettingclaim.com.
I get a lot of calls from people across the country who are suffering from the affliction of IRS tax debt. Hi, I'm the tax doctor. Call me right now. My team specializes in helping people over the age of 50 solve their tax problems. And the bigger your tax problem is, the more money you can save. If you owe the IRS money, or you're about to owe the IRS money, or even if you need to file years of unfiled returns, call us right now. Our friendly, highly trained representatives are waiting right now to take your call. Over the years, we've helped thousands of people just like you stop the tax liens, wage garnishments, and harassing phone calls. You don't need to send the IRS a big fat check. We can negotiate a lower amount. That's what we guarantee for you. So call us right now.
800-603-9359. 800-603-9359. 800-603-9359. That's 800-603-9359.
Titillating Sports with Rick Tittle. Rick Tittle is a genius, the best show ever. He's so wonderful, genius, the best show ever. He's so wonderful. Titillating Sports with Rick Tittle. Rick Tittle he's so handsome, he's a genius.
You're now listening to the Rick Tittle Show. Good for you.
All right. Thank you for that, and welcome back to the show. Rick Tittle with you, coast to coast and around the world on the American Forces Radio Network. It's our pleasure to welcome to the show from the Professional Triathletes Organization, Stuart Ramsey. He's here to talk about the Escape from Alcatraz Triathlon and the San Francisco 100, sponsored by SoCin. Stuart, welcome to the show. First of all, what's SoCin?
Hey, Rick, thanks for having me on your show. What is SoCin? Well, they're our newest foundational partner for the T100 Triathlon World Tour. They've come on board to help support the plight of the PTO in taking triathlon mainstream and transforming it. They're an organisation based out of London, a finance payments company that focuses on businesses to help them navigate the world of money movement. And we partnered up with them recently to come and help support the athletes.
From where do you hail in Blighty?
I'm currently sitting on the 9th floor of One Canada Square, Canary Wharf.
Yeah, I was going to say,
financial hub of London.
You sound like an EastEnder. Can you hear the Bow Bells?
I'm not quite that. I live in a place called Surrey. Some know it. It's not quite the East End of London, but I can understand how you can come to that conclusion.
So Surrey, like Surbiton, Wimbledon, something like that.
Surbiton, absolutely. My grandmother used to live in Surbiton, so I know it well. I'm around 15 minutes away from Surbiton. So yeah, I frequent Wimbledon tennis most summers as well. So you've got the spot on. It sounds like you know Southwest London well, Rick.
I know London pretty well, yes. A lot of time there, and coached football there, actually, to the Metropolitan Police Department. American football, as you would say. But I could talk to you all day about those such things. Let's talk about the PTO, because at what point was the moment where everyone got together and said, hey, you know what, instead of just willy-nilly around the world individually we show up, let's organize all this?
So the story started back in 2015 when the Professional Triathlons Union was created. Professional long course triathletes got together and said we needed a platform, a voice. And that was the genesis of the organization. Fast forward a few years onwards, and we created 3 years ago the T100 Triathlon World Tour. The T standing for triathlon, 100 standing for the 100 kilometer distance. And for those out there that equates to a 2-kilometer swim, an 80-kilometer bike ride, and an 18-kilometer run. And so we saw a fragmented world in triathlon where we need to give these professional athletes of that longer course or mid-distance triathlon a season-long opportunity to compete at the highest level, best athletes against the best athletes in iconic locations around the world, and all end up with a world championship final to be crowned the winner. So it was back then when we felt that we needed to bring that story together and that platform together, and give these athletes an opportunity to be able to race hard against each other, but also create a product that was consumable to those fans out there, that they could actually watch, follow, and really bring something different for the pros and the participants.
I'm fascinated by these athletes because, I fancy myself a pretty good athlete at college or uni, as you would say. I played 2 sports, but this goes beyond anything I did because each one of those 3 disciplines is too much for me. So who are these mad men and mad women that you know what, a marathon, that's not enough. Who are these people that push themselves to these crazy levels?
Well, I'll put my hand up and say I'm one of them. And it's a fantastic sport that brings people from all kinds of backgrounds, shapes and sizes. And it's a whole variety. And my own personal story, I'll remember it this day, September 9th, 2017, a friend of mine, Will, took me to a local cycling studio to challenge me. He flicked a switch in my head that the competitive nature of trying to beat someone on a cycle and then leg it back to the office in time so I didn't get told off by my boss at the time was when I started my transition into the sport. I was 104 kilos and started a journey where it became addictive to train 4 or 5 times a week, do lots of different things, swimming, biking and running, really balance it all. I didn't have to be an expert at any of them. And frankly, it changed my personal life. And I think that's a story that does resonate with so many people that take part in our events. How people get to the nth degree? Well, it takes a lot of commitment, a lot of hard work. And I think it's people that are resilient, focused, have got a goal in mind, and triathlon offers an opportunity that can get people really focused and really enjoy it as well, because it's as much as a lifestyle as it is a bucket list event as well. This is not just around doing it one and done. Triathlon is hard, but it's the pursuit and the journey that is half the fun.
Well, let's talk about the escape from Alcatraz, because nearly 50 years with this race, one of the more iconic ones, and it's great, not only because Alcatraz is such an internationally known iconic place and beautiful setting, but also San Francisco waters. This isn't Malibu. The water is freezing. The water's not coming in the gate. It's going out the gate. People think there are sharks. There are no sharks. Well, there are little ones. I mean, all the things that go into it. It's got to be one of your more marquee events.
Absolutely. This is absolute bucket list. In order to be able to say to someone, hey, do you want to swim in the hallowed waters that many have failed to escape from the Alcatraz prison is really, really unique. And it's a reflection of the rest of our tour. We're really focused on driving great opportunities for people to race and take part in this incredible sport around iconic cities. Similar great in Singapore, where we swim in the marina. We're the only organization that allows people to swim in the marina in Singapore. It's likewise, this opportunity to swim from Alcatraz is just absolutely superb. It sells out every year. It's really, truly iconic. It is difficult. And I think that is where we get so much satisfaction of being able to now be part of the T100 World Tour, to bring the pros to engage and swim in these waters and really, ride on the coattails to the history and heritage that this triathlon has had over 36 years it's been going. So we're absolutely delighted that we've been able to now bring the pros and participants together on such an incredible race and course. And we're really proud to have it, and to have it as part of our tour is absolutely fantastic.
The T100 races in Spain, 23rd, 24th of this month. San Francisco here, 6th and 7th of June. Then in August in Vancouver. on the Côte d'Azur in September, Dubai and Saudi Arabia in November, Qatar in December as well. When I see Spain, knowing you as a Brit, I'm going to say Marbella or Ibiza.
No, it is falling with the iconic nature. So people may well have heard of an incredible cultural of the Pamplona running of the bulls.
Yeah.
We're actually going into that part of Spain to take on a fantastic triathlon there. That again, what we've done is partner up with the Spanish Triathlon Federation, the Spanish National Championships there, and we've led on the professionals of T100 and all of the amateurs there to take on a, again, incredible course running through cobbled streets. The culture of that area is just fantastic. So yeah, we're in that part of the world which is new for us, a new location. We have been in Spain before, in Ibiza a couple of years ago, and this is again another great location for us to go on our tour. But you never know, many more locations as we expand the tour in 2027. We may well venture into areas that you just mentioned there.
So very quickly, in Navarre, that's landlocked. Where are you going to be doing the swimming?
Well, the swimming is going to be quite a few kilometers away. So it's a unique course where we'll be swimming on the coast, and then we're actually then going to be cycling from the coast inland to then when we go and then do the run. So it's a really unique course because we've got actually the transitions are slightly away from each other. So again, it's an element of a point-to-point triathlon race, which is again really unique, and it's something that again we like to bring into all of our races. How do we make sure it's not just looped courses, and actually we embrace the scenery in the city, and of course working with the local government to make sure we optimize the course for the racing, but also make sure that we keep our stakeholders all happy as well on a Saturday and Sunday morning when we race hard.
Great stuff from Stuart Ramsey of the Professional Triathletes Organization. Thank you so much for coming on, and have fun when you're in town here in San Francisco.
Absolutely. Can't wait. Cheers, Rick.
All right. Cheers, mate. Let's take a quick break. We will come on back on Sports Byline.
Sometimes life changes, and the house you once loved becomes a burden. Too many repairs, too many memories, too much to handle on your own. If you'd like to sell your home fast, we can help at the Home Buyers Hotline. We can help you sell your home as is, no cleaning, no showings, and there are absolutely no hidden fees or real estate commissions. We'll pay you a fair price for your home in cash, whether you're downsizing, handling an estate, or just ready for peace of mind. Call us. We'll help you walk away from your problem property in no time at all and get you the cash in your bank account with little hassles. If you'd like to sell your home fast, as is, we can help at the Home Buyers Hotline.
Call Want to Sell Your Home now for a free quote to sell your home in any condition. Call 800-950-3143. 800-950-3143. That's 800-950-3143.
I'm holding in my hand the American Silver Eagle dollar. It's a beautiful piece of American history, and it's 1 ounce of silver. Originally minted in 1986, these coins are a beautiful classic piece of American history, and they're a great investment you should add to your portfolio. The beauty of silver is that however much you have available to invest, silver is affordable and easy to acquire, with one coin costing around $30. So, if you choose to invest a few thousand in silver, you can get quite a bit for your money, and you'll have a tangible asset that you can hold, one you can be proud to own. Claim your piece of American history with American Silver Eagle dollars. Call the Silver Hotline right now.
800-620-1624. 800-620-1624. 800-620-1624. That's 800-620-1624. Right now, you can switch from cable television to satellite television for free. That's right, we're offering free equipment, free installation, plus get a free $100 prepaid Visa card. Call the Satellite TV hotline right now. Make the switch from cable to satellite television and expand your viewing horizon. On top of free installation, for a limited time, we're offering a fixed price guarantee. With satellite TV, you'll save money over your expensive cable bill. Plus, get access to hundreds of channels. And when you call right now, you can also ask about our seniors and military discounts. So make the switch to satellite TV right now. Everybody gets free installation, free equipment, plus a $100 prepaid Visa card. Call right now and you can switch to satellite TV and be watching everything you wanted to within the next week. And remember, installation's free, so call right now. 800-696-2871. 800-696-2871. 800-696-2871. That's 800-696-2871.
I'm not insightful enough to be a movie critic. Maybe I could be a food critic. These muffins taste bad. Or an art critic. That painting is bad.
Why can't you say you talk to me? You're anything about someone else. When it comes home, your bed is on and I'll be gone. But I know my day will come. I know someday I'll be the only one. So now you wait for a spark.
I'm so disgusted by Rick Tittle that I find him very intoxicating.
All right, thank you for that, and welcome back to the show. Rick Tittle with you coast to coast and around the world on the American Forces Radio Network. It's our pleasure now to be joined by jazz musician and author David Solbach, because he's here to talk about his new novel entitled In the Shadow of the Plague. Welcome to the show, David, and before we get into the book, you know, they always say that the two things that Americans can't explain to foreigners are baseball and jazz. And so I think about the creative nature of jazz, really the only discipline of music where you can, if I may say, wander off and then come back together with your bandmates. Does that kind of creativity lend itself to your creative writing, or are there two different disciplines?
I tell you the truth, jazz has made writing much easier for me in my old age than it was as a young man before I got into jazz. And I think it has to do with the fact that with jazz, of course, improvisation is critical. And you have to learn to study all your chords and your progressions and work hard to get the intellectual part of it together. But when the moment comes, you have to just let go and do it. You know, you have to fly. And with writing, for some reason, it's easier now for me than it used to be.
All right, so
because I'm sure of the experience as a musician.
So this is set in the Pacific Northwest where you reside, and when we talk about the plague, we're talking about bubonic plague in the 1600s here. We're talking about the pandemic we recently went through, right?
Right, COVID-19, yes. And it's after the plague, after the worst of the plague is hit and people have digested it. And those who are comfortable with vaccines and masks are into a new, fairly comfortable adjustment. And it's set in the Eugene area, as you mentioned. I think a lot of your readers might know Eugene for the Ducks, University of Oregon Ducks. And, of course, Hayward Field, Tracktown, USA, is what the city likes to think of it as itself as.
Yeah, Prefontaine is a god up there, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Him and Ken Kesey.
Right.
Kesey's pretty important too. So, the book itself is actually a story about a family. In fact, an extended family that's really been shocked into kind of a high tension situation by the fact that an older family member has died and left a will in which about 10 square miles of forestry land is going to be sold off and logged, and the proceeds delivered to the various members of the family. And unless, that is, the executor of the trust can get this land into the Willamette National Forest or some other environmental protected situation, in which case the public, rather than the beneficiaries, will inherit this land. and the wealth that goes with it. So the tension is between the family and, of course, the executor, who is our narrator, who's just a member of the family. He's 70s, Delbert, and he's the kind of guy who grew up on a farm, managed to get to college, but made his living in life really in construction and rehabbing houses here in the greater Eugene area. And to where now he's got a nice little portfolio of 15, 20 houses that he owns in the Eugene area, but he's tired of it. He's sick. He doesn't like what the market has done to him. It's turned all landlords into suspicious people. And so there is the tale of trying to get this land either into, he wants to get it into the national forest. And a lot of people in his family don't want him to get it there at all. And in fact, things get violent. So that's a rough recap of the plot.
You ever get over there to the Autzen Stadium?
Oh, yeah, that's great. Yeah, Hayward, I think, is one of the most impressive structures here in town now.
Yeah, and, Eugene's really a beautiful place. All right, let's talk about one of the things where you say, and it's very poignant, but you say, love is necessary but never sufficient.
Yeah. I feel our society generally, I think before you love your neighbor, you ought to try to understand your neighbor. And that you can't do anything. It's just absolutely critical of love is. It's never sufficient. It always needs, and moreover, the thing about love is it can flip into its opposite so easily, so quickly, as we all know. That I think it's important to keep a sharp intellectual eye on love. I don't mean necessarily verbal IQ, emotional IQ too. Awareness about love and what it's doing to you. Various people in my book suffer or succeed based on how smart they are about how to handle their love. And so some of the characters do well, some don't do so well.
So I also saw another very poignant thing you wrote. A self-realization ethic has replaced a salvation ethic. Now, when I read that, I think people are all into themselves with social media and everyone's their own celebrity now and taking selfies, and we all kind of fall victim of that nowadays. Or do you mean something else?
Oh, well, that's interesting. It's very interesting your take on it there. That idea comes out of my experience with the 60s, 1960s, basically. And, of course, people now don't remember, but it's like the 1950s were in black and white. And in the 1960s, someone found the color button on the TV, and life was suddenly in color, and things were fun and exciting. And you didn't have to worry about getting girls pregnant because there was a pill. And it was a wonderful world. But on the other hand, I know Nietzsche said, guys lived way back in the 19th century. But I think culturally speaking, Christianity was still very strong in American culture through the Second World War. And I think after the war, it began to break down, and we became much more without formal religion guiding our lives. And instead, I think Jack Kerouac and company turned us toward an era in which we were trying to see, rather than worry about saving our souls, we were going to be more concerned with living the fullest, richest, most productive life possible. And who was it? Pascal talked about the wager that if you believed and it turned out you were wrong, you would lose nothing. But if you believed that it turned out to be true, then you gain everything. But I would say if you believe that something is, if nothing greater than nothing, if you give up something here in this life for everything in that life, it's not a good wager, I don't think. So, Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sorry. We just have about a minute. I was just wondering, because I know you lived here for like 50 years. Where did you live in the city?
Well, I lived all over the city. Haight Ashbury a lot in the early years, but I've lived in the Sunset. I've lived in North Valley. I've lived all over town, really. And I mean, San Francisco was really good to me. It was a great city. And when I came there in the 60s, people don't realize now, it was kind of run down and quiet and blue collar. Like the reason the hippies ended up in Haight-Ashbury is because rents were so cheap. And the reason the Beats ended up in Northridge, again, back in the 50s, that was because, again, it was run down and rents were very cheap. And it was a very quiet town in those days, relatively speaking, a town where people could come and try to be painters or musicians or whatever and not have a lot of money, and you can make it. It was cheap living there. So it was a golden era. It was an era only like the era, the 1960s, like were comparable to the Romantic era back in the late 18th, early 19th century. Wordsworth, Coleridge, Keats, and those. One of them said it was a great time to be alive, but on the other hand, to be young and alive was veritably wonderful.
All right. Great stuff from David Solbach. The book is called In the Shadow of the Plague. David, congrats on the book, and thanks for coming by.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
All right. I'm Rick Tittle. Leave out some open lines. We can talk some sports on the other side. 1-800-878-7529, y'all.
Do you want to add a boost to your sex life this weekend? Do you want to make your partner and yourself happy? Then call our special hotline now. We'll sell you those little pills that work below the belt for less than $1 a pill and deliver your package in a few days, just in time for the weekend. Our pill delivers almost the same results as expensive pills for less than $1 a piece, and you don't need a prescription. And ask about their buy 3 get 3 free offer. What are you waiting for? Boost your sex life and have a great time now. Less than $1 a pill, discreet delivery in a few days, and a buy 3 get 3 free offer? Dial this number and save it now.
800-245-2751. 800-245-2751. 800-245-2751. That's 800-245-2751. Paid for by the Pharmacy Shop.
Listen up, guys. Are you experiencing any of the following? Fatigue, less drive, poor performance? If so, you may be one of the nearly 30 million men in the U.S. today dealing with ED. But did you know you don't have to pay hundreds for a prescription anymore? And you don't have to deal with the hassle of seeing the doctor or the embarrassment of going to the pharmacy for a certain pill. Now, with one free call, you can find out how Herbal Virility Max can help you feel like a man again. For over a decade, Herbal Virility Max has helped guys just like you put a smile back on their face with improved performance and drive. Call today and ask about our buy one, get one free offer.
800-690-8223. 800-690-8223. 800-690-8223. That's 800-690-8223.
I love iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio.
Love it.
Everywhere, man. Seriously. Everywhere, man. 20 million songs from 450,000 artists. iHeartRadio.
Reno, Chicago, Fargo, Minnesota, Buffalo, Toronto, Winslow, Sarasota.
I create my own radio stations.
iHeartRadio. Millions of songs, thousands of stations, one free app. iHeartRadio is that easy. Download the app today or listen online at iHeartRadio.com.
Drivers who switch their home and auto with Progressive could save money and time. Other things try to do this, but they really don't. Like touchscreen fast food places. It's not like you save time because it takes you longer to use a touchscreen than, I don't know, someone who works there. And another thing, you'd think it would save money because they're not paying a cashier, right? But no, same price. Also, why is there an option to tip? Who am I tipping? Exactly. Anyway, even if you can't save money and time with some things, you could with a Progressive Home Auto Bundle. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and others not available in Congratulations.
Ask me, were you, you must have been the class clown, and I say, no, I wasn't. I sat beside the class clown, and I studied him.
Rick Tittle once threw a tennis ball at a donkey.
Nah, I feel bad about it now. All right, thank you for that, and welcome back to the show. We have lines available at 1-800-878-PLAY, 1-800-878-7529. Adam Silver, commissioner of the NBA. He thinks that he has solved tanking. He was interviewed yesterday by many outlets, and this was one of the quotes here from the commissioner. What essentially done, and we have a proposal that we're going to be bringing to our team owners at the end of May, and that is to create essentially a system of flat odds so that you have no particular incentive to be bad. There's even something we're calling draft relegation, that if one of the bottom three teams in the league, you'll actually have worse odds than teams that sort of are 4 through up until teams that make the playoffs. We're still playing a little bit with the system there. Now that actually, of all the harebrained, crazy, stupid ideas I have heard, kind of cool. So if you're the very first team, you'll pick 4th, or you have no chance of getting into the top 3. That'd be kind of cool. It's like, all right, let's take the 14 teams, take the top 3 out, because those top 3 are going to pick 4, 5, 6. So let's have a lottery for 1 through 3, and then 7 through 14. And then those 3 horrible teams, under their record, will pick 4, 5, 6. Would you tank for the 4th overall pick? I mean, I guess. I guess you could, but it's not as much incentive as Silver said. So I think it's going to work, though. It's just that the 3-2-1 system would just give the 3 worst teams a much lower percentage of winning the lottery than the other ones. I don't think they're going to take them out. But all 4 teams that jumped up in the lottery this season, the Wiz, the Jazz, the Grizzlies, and the Bulls, they all made moves to improve their draft position in the closing weeks of the season by sucking or tanking, whatever you'd like to. And Silver also reaffirmed, really, that the NBA will have the ability to discipline these teams for over-tanking. That's what they call, beyond what they've been able to do in the past. So what was the worst anybody got last year? Utah got a $500,000 fine for conduct detrimental to the league. And you know what? If you're a billionaire and you get fined $500K because you're tanking, this is what you do. You do a J.D. Sharp. It's $500,000. That's how much my last fishing trip was. And it was a weekend. Silver said, and also ultimately additional authority for the league office that if we do see that type of behavior where there's a sense that teams aren't going all out to win, that we can actually take away draft lottery balls and we can change the order of the draft. You have to know it's not just about paying a financial fine, which they may think is worth it in order to get a top pick, but that'll directly impact their ability to get a top draft pick. Now, what you're still going to have is load management. You're not going to play Steph Curry next year 38 minutes a game. You're just not, because that would be stupid. There are going to be games where you're going to have to give Steph the night off. And I think the commissioner understands that. Not a lot, but I would think probably at least 4 or 5 times you're just going to say, all right, just take a night off. So the expectation of this proposal, which is going to get passed here very soon this month, but, a lot of people wondered, really, no matter what you do, it's never going to change. It's just, this is just the way it is. And the commissioner's like, it is going to change, and it's not the way it is. You're the dummy. No, you're the dummy. So the NBA has reiterated that they're going to put this in place for the next 3 years. They're going to do it 27, 28, 29. And then they'll take a look at it. So that the system that we're going to be putting in front of our teams will be in effect for 3 years. What we're telling our teams is, in turn, people will use it until sunset. In other words, flat out system, it'll be in place for 3 years and will give us time for additional study to see whether there are other creative ways to better distribute players. A lot of times you put these rules in and they change everything. A lot of times they change nothing. And a lot of times people can invent it. No matter what drug test you have, somebody has invented a drug that will pass that test in sports. Who knows what people are taking right now? I'm not saying they are, but it's a good possibility. And somebody, a Balco type of place, has devised some surreptitious ways of getting around these tests. I remember one time when I was playing softball. I used to play like 2-3 nights a week when in my 20s in Richmond and Albany. And a friend of mine was in the dugout, and he had these massive bottles of grapefruit juice, and he was just chugging it. What are you doing? He goes, I'm getting a drug test tomorrow. I'm trying to get a job. I'm like, why are you drinking grapefruit juice like it's going out of style? He's like, this hides weed. That hides weed? A drug test? Sounds like a young husband's tale. Damn. So they'll see after 3 years who gets grounded, who doesn't. And maybe, just maybe, it works. Silver concludes, this will give us an opportunity to see how teams respond to the system. But one thing I've learned, whether it's new provisions in the collective bargaining agreement, new provisions in the draft lottery, which, as you know, we've changed many times over the years, the teams are incredibly innovative and creative and coming up with ways to work the system. What I just said. It's like video game developers, who I've interviewed many over the last few decades. They'll make a game, they'll design it, they'll program it, they'll put it out in the public, and they'll see people play it, and they're like, that wasn't supposed to happen. But that's kind of a cool thing in video games. And I'm not talking about hacking a game. I'm just taking a game as is and doing things for the developers. We're like, whoa, we didn't even know that was possible in this game, and we made it, man. So, look, you're still going to have flopping, as I mentioned, load management. You're still going to have things like that. And you're going to have teams where, I've given this example before, but I remember when the T-Wolves had Kevin Garnett, and they were in Oakland to play the Warriors, and the Warriors were just piss poor. That's when they would win 12 or 14 games a year. Every year. In the teens. Every year. 12 to 14 wins a year. It was not fun. And they would never win on the road. I always remember the Texas trio, the Texas triangle. The Warriors would always go on a road trip, and they'd play the Spurs, the Mavs, and the Rockets. And that was just a guaranteed 0-for-3 road trip. Every year. But There was one year where the Warriors, in those years, and I sat right behind the goal, the basket, and I always think it's funny that a regular shot in basketball is called a field goal, or that in soccer, if you're not a goalie, you're a field player. There are things that there's fullbacks in soccer. There's things that, there's a hooker in rugby and right out here on Broadway. Anyway, I digress. Yes. But just the fact is that the T-Wolves were in town, but they had just gone on a trip. It was like 6 games and 8 nights, and this was the last. They were going to go home, and they were dog-tired, and they weren't interested. And that is one of the best players of his generation. Ask Boston fans if, and by the way, David Stern finagled Boston would win a championship. What they gave Minnesota for him. But anyway, KG's Italian, and the Warriors passed on him for Joe Smith, but he's a great player. He was just walking. He didn't care. He just I got to get on that plane. And, I'm not saying I blame him. He was getting paid the same money, whether he lost. I'm not trying to say he's not a competitor. That's just the nature of the beast. It's an NBC, maybe it was on NBC, NBA regular season game. And you're still going to have moments like that. It's not like, oh, now teams are going to go all out. I went to my first ever WNBA game last night. And I'm not going to sit here and talk about the things that I didn't like about it, but I will mention the 2 things that I loved about it. Number 1, the players, almost every call, just go, okay, foul. Don't complain. They kind of go, what? What? Why did you call that? That's about as Draymond as they get. The other thing is, they go all out. Everybody's going 1,000,000 miles per hour. Now, I'm not going to criticize the quality of the play because I don't want to be there. It's not for me, okay? It's not for me, but it's a lot of fun. I can see. By the way, if you're a dude, there are 1,000,000 women there. It doesn't mean that they're going to like you, just saying. But I do appreciate the fact that they were trying. There was no Kevin Garnett dogging it. And they don't moan and groan on foul calls. They just totally accept it. And I will give a shout out to Gabby Williams, though. Man. The ball handling, because a lot of them just aren't strong enough to shoot like I'm used to watching. They have to get their whole bodies behind it and kind of like a guy throwing a log over a fence or something. But man, that Gabby Williams, very, very impressive player. All right, let's move on. 1-800-878-PLAY.
Listen, were you forced into a solar contract and now you just don't want it anymore? Maybe the solar company misled you. Or your solar contract buried with hidden fees. Are you not saving the amount of money you thought you would on your energy costs? Don't worry. At the Solar Exit Hotline, we can help you cancel your solar contract, even if the panels are already installed. Our experienced legal team will review your contract and help you cancel it, possibly saving you thousands of dollars. You got to call right now for complete details. So listen, if you're not happy with your solar contract for any reason, we are here to help you cancel it. Call the Solar Exit Hotline now for immediate options to help you exit your solar contract. This call is 100% free.
800-826-4073. 800-826-4073. 800-826-4073. That's 800-826-4073.
Lower your car payment today. Lower your car payment today. Yes, you heard us right. You can lower your car payment right now by making this free call. Save up to $1,400 a year on your current car payments. Think about about your current car payment right now. What's that costing you per year? Now think about what it would be like to put an extra $1,400 back in your pocket. That's the average savings our customers experience. We can help you drive the same car and pay less every month by lowering your car payment's interest rate to as low as 4.67%. At Rate Genius, we can work with you to refinance any car payment. If you qualify, it costs you nothing to find out how you can lower your car payment. To learn more, call this right now.
800-832-2816. 800-832-2816. 800-832-2816. That's 800-832-2816.
An American veteran. I'm proud to have served this country. Helping veterans is something all Americans can participate in, and it's as simple as donating an old car that you have sitting around. When you call the Veteran Car Donation Program, they'll explain how their program works, and then arrange a time they can come and pick up your vehicle for free. Running or not, it doesn't matter. They take cars, trucks, motorcycles, or vans. Show your support by donating your car and get a tax deduction in the process. Call the Veteran Car Donation Program right now. They'll come and pick your car up for free, and you'll get a tax deduction in the process. Call the number we're about to give you right now. Thank you, and God bless America.
800-887-1097. 800-887-1097. 800-887-1097. That's 800-887-1097.
By noon, I need them 8,000 hens moved into their new cages. Sometimes they don't want to cooperate, but you give them a good shake and they'll settle down for you.
Do the chickens have large talons?
Do they have what?
Large talons.
I don't understand a word you just said.
Cares about anything else when you've got Rick Tittle on the radio.
All right, thank you for that. Second hour coming up, we will have roller derby athlete in studio coming up, as we do every year. You know what? I'm a fan of Brandon Pajemski, and he goes to a lot of these Valkyries games. It's the off season, the Warriors, but he went to college. At least he finished college in the Bay Area, so I guess he hangs around here now. And he's kind of a mainstay at Valkyrie games. And so they put the camera on him, and he's wearing this ridiculous, like, Rasta Man outfit. And he's sitting next to Joe Lacob, the owner of both Golden State teams. And I've always said that the Pajemski thing is a Joe Lacob vehicle. Just like Jeremy Lin. He went to Palo Alto High with my son, and he went to Harvard to can play. We are going to put him on our team. And he made it his mission. And so when you see the fan base, you see Steve Kerr get mad, and yet Steve Kerr has to go out there. I think that's the best acting he's ever done. And I know he's not an actor. But just to say, Brandon, giving him the most minutes, playing him in every game. Somehow, some way, Joe Lacob loves Brandon Pajemski. I mean, he loves him. And maybe it's because he's a white guy. I don't think that's it. I said maybe. I don't think that, but maybe. But sitting next to the boss, golly, it's just like, well, I always knew it, and now that's proof. All right. I'm Rick. Come on back for 2 more hours.
I'm Mike Sempervive with the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network 2-minute warning. And in the time I've been doing these little time fillers, I've exalted a lot of pitchers. I've talked about Shohei Ohtani and Mason Miller starts and fantasy booked their Cy Young paths. Talked about Sandy Alcantara being one of the most underappreciated pitchers in the game. Pretty sure I've mentioned Tarek Skubal a bunch. And then there's Paul Skeens, who at only 23 years old may be the best of them all. We were reminded of that again in Pittsburgh yesterday, where the ace took a no-hitter into the seventh inning before it was foiled as the Pirates beat Colorado 3-1. Skeen's control was nearly immaculate. He struck out the side in the first 2 innings and baffled the Rockies over 8 innings. He gave up only 2 hits, no walks, and struck out 10 on only 98 pitches. I grew up in awe of watching Nolan Ryan pitch for the Astros and Rangers in the 1980s and 90s. And since he retired in 1993, there have been a lot of great starters who can rack up strikeouts, not the least of which was Randy Johnson. But none have really made me feel like I was watching someone in Ryan's mold. Skeens does, and I think a lot of it is just his presence and how he carries himself on the field. There's no self-adulation or gimmicks. There's not a bunch of high fives and smiles. It's a grown-ass man showing up at the butcher shop to begin his work as a cold-blooded sausage maker. Skeens has shown a maturity beyond his years from the time he stepped on a major league field for the first time in 2024. And I don't know the guy's life story, but I do know he could have played anywhere coming out of high school, and he chose the Air Force Academy fully intent on wanting to fly fighter jets. Skeens ultimately transferred to LSU when it was clear that his service to this country would be best served by way of its pastime, who desperately needed his service. And he has delivered. Named as the NL All-Star starter after only pitching for weeks in the majors and finishing 2024 third in the Cy Young voting, Skeens won the Cy in 2025 with the best pitching WAR and WHIP in all of MLB. And that's where he blows me away the most. Less than Ryan and much more like Greg Maddux, Skeens doesn't walk batters and he doesn't give up home runs. He barely lets anyone on base at all, 25 hits and 9 starts total. He's given up only 8 extra base hits this year and has not walked anyone since April 13th, a span of 25 consecutive innings. A gem that throws gems. Paul Skeens is special, and it's my only hope that in this day and age where pitchers burn out their arms within only a few years of making the majors, Skeens can last. Because the game, especially the long-suffering fans in Pittsburgh, need him. I'm Mike Sempervive with the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network 2-minute warning.
Every champion has a team behind them, and for thousands of families without insurance, Christ Clinic is that team. At Christ Clinic in Katy, Texas, they provide high-quality, faith-based health care to people who can't afford it, because everyone deserves a shot at health, no matter their income or insurance status. Their doctors, volunteers, their mission, rooted in compassion, their impact, over 10,000 patient visits every year and growing. But they can't do it without help from fans like you. If you ever cheered for a comeback story, this is your chance to be a part of one. Donate today at ChristClinicKaty.org and help them keep the doors open for those who need it most. One gift can be the difference between surviving and thriving. Christ Clinic in Katy, where health meets hope and faith goes to work. That's Christ Clinic Katy, spelled Katy.org. Team up with them today.
Have you been daydreaming about losing weight for years? Do you yo-yo back and forth? At Innovative Wellness Center, we have a holistic weight loss program that allows you to lose up to 20 pounds in 30 days. People are losing weight like crazy and keeping it off. It can be done from anywhere in the United States. Go to our website at www.innovativewellness.center and schedule your complimentary consultation today.
Getting together with friends to watch the game? Then you'll need American Premium Vodka. Handcrafted and pure, this is the one thing all Americans can agree on. Founder Mark Gus Scott chose the finest natural elements America has to offer. And you'll taste how great it is to be an American. Now available at Bevmo, GoPuff, Hy-Vee, and Fairway stores. American Premium Vodka. This is the America we need right now. Go to AmericanPremiumVodka.com. Celebrate responsibly.
Quick question.
How many calls, texts, or messages does your business miss every week? Nights, weekends, busy days. That's lost money. Create Assistance helps businesses fix that problem using AI employees that answer calls, respond to texts, book appointments, and follow up with leads 24/7 automatically. No extra staff, no complicated software. Everything runs inside one simple command center that replaces scattered tools, missed follow-ups, and manual busywork. Whether you're a service business, office, or multi-location company, Create Assistance keeps your business responsive, organized, and running even when you're off the clock. Stop letting leads slip through the cracks. Visit createassistance.ai to book a free call. Or you can call or text 515-500-2224. Again, that's 515-500-2224. We look forward to hearing from you.
Rick Tittle knows his sports.
I hate that guy.
I love that guy. Oh my gosh, he's so fine. Rick Tittle brings home the bacon, fries it up in a pan, and then he eats it.
Ricky T in the hizzle for shizzle, biznatch.
Thank you so much. Welcome back to the show. Rick Tittle with you, coast to coast. Danger Muffin getting ready to come in studio here. Dick Girardi, Preakness preview. Like that, the Preakness preview at 10:40. Let's talk sports at 1-800-878-PLAY. Rick at sportsbyline.com is the email address. Last night, Beatty was at the plate for the Mets. Pitch came in. The umpire said the hitter's reviewing the. It's like, what? It was a strike, not right down the middle, but pretty much. And he goes, "You said." He goes, "No, I didn't." He goes, "You tapped your helmet." He goes, "No, I didn't." And you looked at it. It looked like he was saying, like, it's not a strike. And then he put his hand up, and it looked like for a second maybe he was adjusting the part of the helmet now that swings out and protects your cheek. Maybe he barely touched that, but he didn't do the double tap on the top of his head. The umpire said, "Yeah, you did, I saw it, and it's a strike, and you're out of challenges." And so the Mets were like, "Well, that sucks that we're out of challenges." And they're like, "Well, that's on you." And so the Mets were like, you got to be insane. So some people are saying now, well, there has to be a method. No, it doesn't. Maybe we need a review for the umpires looking to see if there is a review. Is there VAR for that? But look, people are people, so why should it be? You and I should get along so often. People will mess up. If that's the only time all year, you can live with it. But it didn't cost them the game, which is good. But how do you... I just think when he said, "Oh, come on, that's not a strike," but he wants to review it. No, it doesn't matter what the guy says. He has 2 seconds. So does the pitcher and the catcher. Those are the only 3 tap on their heads. Otherwise, you'd have second baseman and shortstop. They have a pretty good view of the pitch. They could do it as well. All right, come on back with roller derby.
This important consumer alert is from the Credit Repair Hotline, a national service designed to help people improve their credit scores. Are you paying high interest rates because of your credit rating? Wouldn't you like to be able to qualify for a better car loan or mortgage rate? Would lower monthly payments give you more financial flexibility? If you're finally ready to fix your credit problem, you need to call today and get a free consultation from the Credit Repair Hotline. In one fast and easy call, we can pull your credit rating and show you real solutions how to improve your credit. And again, this is part of a 100% free consultation. Learn how you can save money on everyday purchases by having a better credit rating. And it all starts with this free phone call right now.
800-413-6214. 800-413-6214. 800-413-6214. That's 800-413-6214.
Let's be honest. Most businesses don't struggle because demand is low. They struggle because their back end can't handle growth. Leads come in, but follow-up is slow. Calls get missed. Appointments don't get confirmed. And everything lives in different places. So even when marketing works, revenue doesn't scale. That's a systems problem. Create Assistance fixes this by building a done-for-you CRM and automation system that captures every lead, follows up automatically, confirms appointments, and keeps everything organized in one place. And only after that foundation is built, AI voice and chat employees get added on. If your business feels chaotic behind the scenes, it's time to fix the back. Visit createassistance.ai and book your call today. Or you can call or text 515-500-2224. Again, that's 515-500-2224. We look forward to hearing from you.
Every champion has a team behind them. And for thousands of families without insurance, Christ Clinic is that team. At Christ Clinic in Katy, Texas, they provide high-quality, faith-based health care to people who can't afford it, because everyone deserves a shot at health, no matter their income or insurance status. Their doctors, volunteers, their mission, rooted in compassion, their impact, over 10,000 patient visits every year and growing. But they can't do it without help from fans like you. If you ever cheered for a comeback story, this is your chance to be a part of one. Donate today at ChristClinicKaty.org and help them keep the doors open for those who need it most. One gift can be the difference between surviving and thriving. Christ Clinic in Katy, where health meets hope and faith goes to work. That's Christ Clinic Katy, spelled Katy.org. Team up with them today.
Hour 2 of titillating sports. You thought it couldn't get any better, but it's better. Rick Tittle is back. He's so great. I can't believe how awesome he is. More sports talk, yes. Couldn't get any better, but it's better. Rick Tittle is back. He's so great. I can't believe how awesome he is. More sports talk, yes. Hour 2 of titillating sports.
Hey, check out Channel 9. Check out Rick Tittle.
All right, thank you for that. And check me out, Rick Tittle, with you coast to coast and around the world on the American Forces Radio Network. And many, many years we have brought in the badass athletes from Bay Area Derby. And we are very happy to have, and you can see, I want to get the pronouns right. It is 2026. Help me out. Pronouns?
He or they.
He or they.
That's right.
So they is here? They are here.
You use the natural way to say it.
The plural.
They're here.
Okay, thank you. They're here. And look, I'm an ally. I'm trying here.
No, you're trying.
After,
I appreciate it.
Okay. It's Danger Muffin. How you doing?
I'm well. How are you doing, Rick?
I'm doing fine. Now, there's going to be something going on in my my hometown of Richmond, California, and it's this weekend. In fact, it's going to start tomorrow, go Saturday and Sunday, and it has one of the longest names for an event. I love it. Bay Area Derby hosted Women's Flat Track Derby Association North American California Playoffs.
That's right, or playoffs for short. We're hosting the playoffs for the Western North American region for flat track roller derby.
Now, over the years, and I have gone down there and watched it before, and one of the things that's always been encouraging is that a lot of people say, well, I didn't have athletic background, but I got to do it anyway. So how did you get your start?
Well, I first saw my first game in 2006 up in Eugene, Oregon. And then by the time I moved to the Bay Area in 2010, I had been coming down for a couple summers. All of my friends had joined, and then I finally put on skates myself in 2010. Most of what I do these days is officiating, so I'm also the head referee for the league.
How much do you get that?
How much do I what?
Get boo.
Oh, a boo from the bench better be quick, or there will be consequences.
Oh, wow. You roll with an iron fist. I noticed, though, because when I was a kid in the 70s, they had the Bay Bombers.
That's right.
The Brassy Broads, as they were known, and they would go flying around, and that was like the rollerball tilted one. So on the flat one, it's a little slower, and it seemed like there were a lot of fouls.
There are a decent number of fouls. We removed the bank track in about 2004, part of what we call the flat track revolution, in order to just be able to put down a track anywhere. So to have a bank track, you need to keep and store the physical track somewhere, and we can just tape it down.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fouls depending on the game. I've been in games where we'll see 5 to 10 fouls over the entire game. Personal record, though, is 125.
Maybe that's the one I went to. One of the other cool things about this sport is you get to pick your name. So what were you another name before and you changed to Danger Muffin, or what was a name that you almost picked?
Well, I've had the nickname Muffin since college. My freshman year of college, I got it from a group that I had joined. But by the time I joined roller derby, there was already a Muffin. And in 2010, they were regulating it to be sure that nobody had the same name as anybody else.
Wow.
So I just added Danger to the front. Danger Muffin for long, but I still go by Muffin for short, including amongst my non-derby friends.
How'd you get the nickname Muffin, may I ask?
Well, I was in a group, and they were doing the AV for my university.
Where'd you go?
I went to Carnegie Mellon University,
Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Good
That's
school.
right. And if you're doing the speakers and lighting, and you're a first year, then all you do is pick up heavy stuff and put it down. You don't get to do any of the fun stuff. But if you drop it on someone, they could get really hurt. So they need to be able to yell your name across the room. And there was already someone named Adam. And so they said, "What's your nickname? You got to come up with something." And I thought, give me a day. What would they never call me? And so I really sarcastically said, "Okay, call me Muffin." And jumps up on stage, yells, "The new Adam is now known as Muffin." And all of a sudden, everyone cheers. And it was set.
I remember one time, and I didn't hate the name because I hated it, but I hated it because I didn't have any choice. And there was one time I was in, I think I was like, I don't know, an 8th grader, and there were 2 Ricks in the class. And my teacher went, "Oh, 2 Ricks." And instead of just using our last initial, she goes, "You're Ricardo now." Everyone, and then so she always says, "Yes, Ricardo." And I want to go, I'm not Ricardo, but whatever. Not that I remember Muffin. Anyway, it still burns. No, but over the years, I've interviewed so many, over decades now, these people from BAD. And one time I blurted out laughing because I said, "Who is the meanest player you ever played against?" And she said, "Probably PMS." So what are some of your like teammates or some of the nicknames that you like?
Some of the roller derby nicknames, there's so many. I probably know thousands of them. It's
What are some of your favorite? Maybe your teammates.
It's hard to choose. I would say I know probably 3 or 4 different variations on Sid Vicious. We have a Sydney with Bay Area Derby. That's Sydney Vicious.
Very good.
I was at a tournament in Canada, and I met a guy named Squid Vicious.
Nice.
Squid Vicious. So I like those references, but some of them are just really cute. I like cute nicknames too, like Josh Darn It. That's a men's roller derby skater from somewhere in the Pacific Northwest.
That is. I agree with you. That is a good one. Josh Darn It. The lead singer of the Dwarves, Black Dahlia, is a friend of mine who comes in, and I liked his original name, which was Julius Seizure.
Yep, we had one of those.
Did you?
There was a Julius Seizure out of, I think, Chicago, who is no longer participating.
Very good. Now, I know about the Oakland team and the San Francisco team, but there's some new ones here. Supernovas Ultraviolet and Sacramento Mall Stars. Where do the Supernovas play out of?
That's right. So this is the whole West region. The Supernovas Ultraviolets are a peninsula team. So they're based largely out of Redwood City, but they practice all over the Bay Area. And the Mall Stars are based in Sacramento. So Sacramento Roller Derby, Sac City and Sacred City were the prior names, and they merged to form a bigger, better roller derby league. And this is their first time at playoffs in a few years.
And I'm not saying things aren't great down in Point Richmond, but if you do advance to the World Championships, Malmo, that is right across from Denmark there in Sweden.
That's right. 30-minute train ride from the Copenhagen airport. We're going to see 4 teams from this playoff advance to Sweden. We'll see 4 from Europe. We'll see 1 from Latin America. And we'll see 3 from the Northeast, 2 from the South, and then 2 from Australia.
This is the Twin Cities, Malmo and Lund. No one talks about Lund, right?
Not even in Malmo.
Malmo, the soccer team, was once in a, as we call it now, Champions League final, if you can believe that. So, have you been to Malmo before?
I've been to Malmo twice for 2 different roller derby tournaments that were held there.
What is that like?
Malmo it's cute. You know, it's got old buildings. It has modern restaurants and bars. It's very chilly, so we're going in October, and Sweden is known for being a northern country. So it'll be on the chilly side, kind of on the dark side. But the league there, Crime City, because they're known as the highest crime city in Sweden, which is
not saying much.
Which is still probably safer than any city in North America. But they're wonderful hosts, and they have a beautiful, huge sports hall that's municipal that they're able to access, get a couple thousand fans in there. I'm guessing that the tickets will sell out within a week.
Well, this weekend, starting tomorrow, Richmond Memorial Auditorium here in the East Bay, we will be having the playoffs for the Western region, and we will have many of our local stars from Bay Area Derby, including our guest, Danger Muffin. You can go to bayareaderby.com for more information. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks so much, Rick. Had a great time here. Thank you.
All right, good stuff. I'm Rick Tittle. We will come on back on the other side.
With MedGuard Alert, you're never alone. You can connect with medical professionals anywhere, anytime. And now MedGuard is introducing our exclusive new Care Watch. If you need help quickly, use it from anywhere to contact medical professionals. No cell phone required. The Care Watch is not only a life-saving medical alert device, it's a revolutionary health monitoring system that checks your blood pressure, heart rate, oxygen saturation, and much more. And here's the best part. If you have Medicaid, you may qualify to get your Care Watch for free. The Care Watch is only available through MedGuard Alert. Call us right now. We have monitoring programs starting as low as $1 a day. The call is free, activation is free, shipping is free, and no contract is required. Remember, with Medicaid, you may qualify to get your Care Watch for free. Call us. Get your Care Watch right now.
800-853-8931. 800-853-8931. 800-853-8931. That's 800-853-8931.
Every champion has a team behind them. And for thousands of families without insurance, Christ Clinic is that team. At Christ Clinic in Katy, Texas, they provide high-quality, faith-based health care to people who can't afford it. Because everyone deserves a shot at health, no matter their income or insurance status. Their doctors, volunteers, their mission, rooted in compassion. Their impact, over 10,000 patient visits every year and growing. But they can't do it without help from fans like you. If you ever cheered for a comeback story, this is your chance to be a part of one. Donate today at ChristClinicKaty.org and help them keep the doors open for those who need it most. One gift can be the difference between surviving and thriving. Christ Clinic in Katy, where health meets hope and faith goes to work. That's Christ Clinic Katy, spelled Katy.org. Team up with them today.
I'm holding in my hand the American Silver Eagle dollar. It's a beautiful piece of American history, and it's 1 ounce of silver. Originally minted in 1986, these coins are a beautiful classic piece of American history, and they're a great investment you should add to your portfolio. The beauty of silver is that however much you have available to invest, silver is affordable and easy to acquire, with one coin costing around $30. If you choose to invest a few thousand in silver, you can get quite a bit for your money. And you'll have a tangible asset that you can hold, one you can be proud to own. Claim your piece of American history with American Silver Eagle dollars. Call the Silver Hotline right now.
800-620-1624. 800-620-1624. 800-620-1624. That's 800-620-1624.
This is special too. It's look, see, still got the old tagger on it. See, never even played it. See?
You just bought it?
Don't touch it. Don't touch it.
I wasn't going to touch it.
No, don't touch it.
I was just pointing at it.
Well, don't point even.
Don't even point.
No, it can't be played. Never.
Can I look at it?
No, you did
Don't
enough
look
of that
at
one.
I'm so disgusted by Rick Tittle that I find him very intoxicating.
All right, thanks for tuning in. And we have open lines at 1-800-878-PLAY. Coming up in the next segment, we'll get a Preakness preview by the Hall of Fame horse racing journalist Dick Girardi. It's always great to talk to Dick Girardi. All right, by the way, the action-packed sci-fi thriller Blue Thunder just recently made its global 4K UHD debut, exposing a future where military-grade surveillance takes to the skies above the streets of Los Angeles. This limited edition release features a brand new 4K restoration from the original negative, hours of special features, and newly commissioned extras. Remember, Officer Frank Murphy, played by Roy Scheider, pilots a helicopter for the LAPD. And during a nighttime aerial patrol, Frank and Officer Richard Lymangood, Daniel Stern, spy on a woman exercising, leading them to miss a councilwoman being murdered nearby, resulting in their suspension. Frank's punishment didn't last long. His superior, Warren Oates, Sergeant Holka, needs him to test the next generation of police helicopters. The futuristic vehicle, nicknamed Blue Thunder, features bulletproof armor, state-of-the-art surveillance equipment, whisper mode, and advanced weaponry. But with the 1984 Summer Olympics on the horizon, the city is eager to put it into action. Frank has his doubts. The program's test pilot, F.E. Cochran, played by Malcolm McDowell, Alex, is a man he grew to despise during their time in Vietnam. As tensions escalate, Frank becomes increasingly suspicious of the technology, culminating in a high-stakes aerial showdown above the city of Los Angeles. So, Blue Thunder, by the way, directed by John Badham. He's the guy that directed Saturday Night Fever, War Games. What are you up to, Joshua? He staged some really thrilling helicopter stunts around the skyscrapers of L.A. No CGI back then. Candy Clark, remember her? American Graffiti, Joe Santos, Anthony James. So special features, 4K, that's 2160p. Dolby Vision, 2.0, stereo audio, all good stuff. Once again, Blue Thunder, 4K UHD. Make sure to pick it up wherever you can pick it up. All right. Welcome back to the show. So, whenever you draft a kid in any sport, and I say kid because they're usually teenagers, sometimes early 20s, but whenever you draft a young man, young woman, you want to get them in your system, learn your stuff, They used to say in baseball, don't go to college, it'll set you back. We'll try to work out all the things you learned there by real coaches. And now college baseball's so much better. And they go, actually, college baseball, it's not a setback. But I find it interesting because Mike McCarthy is the new head coach of the Steelers, and they drafted Drew Aller in the 3rd round. Now, Drew Aller was supposed to be a day 1 pick last year, but he decided to go back to Penn State. And he got hurt, and he dropped to the 3rd round. I'm sure he got money from NIL. Don't feel bad for him. So the reason he was going to be a day 1 pick is because he threw for 24 touchdowns and over 3,300 yards, led the Nittany Lions to the playoff semifinals. But, yeah, he got knocked out for the season this year in October. Reports are from ESPN that they are completely changing everything about him. They're trying to erase all his Happy Valley habits. Now, sometimes it's really stupid. Like when Robin Ventura was at Oklahoma State, we sort of followed every day. Will he break Joe DiMaggio's 56 game hit record? Now he's in the college ranks, but he's the greatest college hitter of all time, 1st-round pick of the White Sox, and Walt Hriniak, Charlie Lau changed his swing. They go, you helicopter your bat through the zone. That's what you do. If the pitch is in the zone, just bat speed, flat helicopter, as we call it. Have the bat come around, hit you in the back every time. Now, Robin Ventura was still a good pro and ended up manager. I used to like talking to him when the White Sox were in town, when he was the skipper. And, of course, also the guy that half-heartedly charged Nolan Ryan, and Nolan Ryan punched the top of his head 50 times. He's known for that as well. But I bring it up because the reports about the Steelers. This is the report from ESPN. They're essentially uninstalling everything he has learned, and they're re-uploading their own methods, fundamentals, and mechanics with Aller. Mike McCarthy and quarterback coach Tom Arth are very intentional with Aller, who was only allowed to run at half speed because the footwork is being redone. Good Lord, it's like they took a hockey player. You ever played football? No? Hey, you're big and strong. We'll make you a quarterback. No, you turned your feet the wrong way. You look the wrong way. Don't bend over. Lower your back and keep it straight. I mean, just, geez. So the reports are that Aller's base is way too narrow. They want him to widen his stance, Mark McGuire. They say that he was on his toes in the pocket, and they don't want him to do that. They say he moves too slow. Now, we've already had Roethlisberger come out and kind of diss, as we said in the 80s. Not me. But anyway, diss Aller by saying, he goes, Will Howard is the guy. And, of course, Mason Rudolph, he's still there. Expectation is Aaron Rodgers is back to team up with McCarthy, as they did in Wisconsin. But Penn State, if you think about one of the greatest quarterbacks in their history, Todd Blackledge, and he was the top recruit they ever got there. He was like the number 1 quarterback in the nation, went out in 2022. At Penn State, he threw for almost 7,500 yards, 61 touchdowns, just 13 interceptions. 6'5", 235, looks the part. But I almost want to say, whatever you saw on tape in Pittsburgh, none of this should be a surprise. If you said, ugh, all your habits are wrong. But I wonder, how do you not indirectly or directly really offended if you're a Penn State coach? Ugh. None of this will work in the NFL. Now, Pittsburgh isn't some team that runs their own thing. We're in a Delaware double wing. No. We used to call something the option. Now it's called RPO, run pass option. It's also known as the option. So, what does Penn State do? They run the ball, right? Don't they? It seems like they always run the ball, and yet this guy threw 61 touchdown passes. And so what they said was that when the pocket broke down, his processing was too slow for the NFL. They said he hesitated, he missed opportunities. When he played against good teams like USC and Oregon in the Big Ten championship, multiple interception games. But in 3 playoff starts during 2024, he threw 3 touchdowns, an interception, and a completion rate of 55%. Penn State never built its game plan around his arm. And as I said, the question's about his footwork. So now he's like a purely developmental quarterback. But it'll also make this a good story if he actually ends up starting and is good. But I'm sure like he's aware of this report. It's on ESPN for Pete's sake. I'm sure he sees the report and he's like, "Ow, kiss my butt, all your mamas." Because they're basically saying he doesn't know how to play quarterback. Again, it's been like Tyler Wilson, who's a 3rd-round pick of the Raiders. Everyone said, "Oh, he's so awesome." And I went to Raider camp, and I thought he looked terrible. And guess what? He got dropped, cut in camp, the highest drafted player to get cut in camp. And it wasn't even the Valkyries GM. I'm Rick Tittle. Come on back with a little horse racing.
It's more than a rebellion. When your teen is slipping into drugs or alcohol, when social media and pornography consume their time and their mind, when depression and even suicidal thoughts cast a shadow over your home, as a parent, you feel powerless. There is hope. At Turnabout Ranch, troubled teens step away from the chaos and into a clarity of nature on a worrying cattle ranch. Care for horses, learn responsibility, build trust, and rediscover purpose. It isn't theory, it's real work, real therapy, real healing. Families from across the country have found transformation right here, just when they thought hope was gone. If your teen is struggling with addiction, harmful online behaviors, even weight management, call right now and get the help you all need.
800-219-2494. 800-219-2494. 800-219-2494. That's 800-219-2494.
My fellow Americans, let the message ring out that from this day forward, when you buy American, you buy the best. Handcrafted, something premium, something pure. For this is the very essence of what our servicemen and women gave their lives to protect, and by God, we shall not allow their sacrifice to be forgotten. It's time to show the world just how great American can be. And we will not wait for tomorrow to come. We will stand here, this moment, and we will start today. Don't ever forget how great it is to be American. America we need now. American Premium Vodka. Celebrate responsibly.
Let's be honest. Most businesses don't struggle because demand is low. They struggle because their back end can't handle growth. Leads come in, but follow-up is slow. Calls get missed. Appointments don't get confirmed. And everything lives in different places. So even when marketing works, revenue doesn't scale. That's a systems problem. Create Assistance fixes this by building a done-for-you CRM and automation system that captures every lead, follows up automatically, confirms appointments, and keeps everything organized in one place. And only after that foundation is built, AI voice and chat employees get added on. If your business feels chaotic behind the scenes, it's time to fix the back end. Visit createassistance.ai and book your call today. Or you can call or text 515-500-2224. Again, that's 515-500-2224. We look forward to hearing from you.
You can't be serious, man. You cannot be serious!
Tittle's got a black belt in keeping it real.
All right, thank you for that, and welcome back to the show. Rick Tittle with you coast to coast and around the world on the American Forces Radio Network. One of the greats of the horse racing journalism world is Dick Girardi, and we always love it when he drops by and gives us his previews. We checked in with him before the Kentucky Derby, and now we will get his thoughts on the 151st running of the Preakness Stakes, all courtesy of BetOnline.ag. First of all, Dick, let's start with the Kentucky Derby because hearing that Golden Tempo, quote unquote, got lucky because horses got bunched up. A thrilling finish, to say the least, and we'll get into Golden Tempo not running. But how did you see the Derby? Because no one saw this from Golden Tempo.
Yeah, I didn't either, and a sensational training job by Cherie DeVoe, who, as Larry Collins, who called the race, made the comment, as he called it, that she made history, and she did, first ever trainer to win the Derby. And look, little by little, Golden Tempo got better, and the biggest moment, he ran the best race of his life. So congratulations to her and the connections. I didn't see it. In fact, when we talked 2 weeks ago, I told you how much I loved the non-Bourbon, the Japanese horse.
Mm-hmm.
And frankly, when I'm watching the race, as he comes into the stretch and he opens up 3 lengths, I think he's going to win easily. And then the next thing I know, he's getting passed by a maiden, the horse Ocelli, was 70-1, and never won a race. And it just seemed really strange to me. Like, how did that happen? And I don't know wine, but I might as well. It turned out that the non-Bourbon had a knee fracture that happened during the race. That's why he looked like he was going to win easily.
Wow.
I thought something like that had happened because the Japanese horses, when you watch them run internationally, they don't get tired. They're never not fit. So I'm pretty sure he would have won, but, that's the nature of the sport. It's that they're animals. Weird stuff happens. But, yeah, major congratulations to the Golden Tempo people. But, yeah, disappointing that he's not coming, but that's, you and I have talked about. That's become the norm anymore, the Derby winner not coming on the Preakness.
Well, last year, of course, Sovereignty didn't run, Rich Strike a few years before that. I think it robbed the fans of the excitement of the Triple Crown. But more importantly, you think if you would have, and now Golden Tempo isn't a long shot nag, but if you have an unfancied horse, you think you would want to capitalize on this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win the Kentucky Derby. And I know there are investments and everything, but horses did it forever in the past, and they all didn't drop dead. Why do you think this trend is like this?
Yeah, and it's a great unanswerable question because there's some trainers, Bob Baffert, Great Wing, Lucas, two of them, and the guys that have won Triple Crown races, 34 between them than anybody else, they always ran their Derby winners back in the Preakness. They never gave a second thought. Michael McCarthy last year, a sensational trainer out in Southern California, journalism finished second. He didn't get this. He said, we're going to go on to the Preakness, which he won, and then they ran second at the Belmont. So it's absolutely doable, and I'm not knocking Cherie DeVoe or Bill Mott the last 2 years. They just look differently than some people. And Cherie, for instance, she's been training on her own for 8 years now, Rick, and she's never on a horseback in 14 days. Not a good horse, not a bad horse, not a horse. She just doesn't do it. So most trainers at the top level will not do it anymore, and unfortunately that's affected the single biggest thing in the sport, which is the Triple Crown.
All right. Now, the Preakness, as they're getting ready to fix that up and reopen it, it's going to be run about a half hour south at Laurel Park, and they say horses for courses. Does that make a big difference? I know it's going to be the same mile and 3/16, but still, Laurel Park is not a place that most of us are familiar with.
Right, correct. It's always been one of, at one time, 4 racetracks in Maryland. That was Bowie, which has been closed for 40 years. Laurel, Pimlico, and Timonium, where they run they have the state fair every year around Labor Day. So, yeah, Laurel's a lot closer to Washington, D.C. It's about 25 miles south of Pimlico. And they run most of the racing dates in Maryland at Laurel. It just happens the Preakness has always been at Pimlico, which, as you said, is undergoing a renovation at the moment. Here's the big difference. Laurel's dirt surface is 1.8 miles circumference. Pimlico and Churchill Downs are 1 mile. So this race will start at the 8th pole. The run to the first turn will be a lot quicker than the run to the first turn at either the Derby or the normal Preakness. That's going to be the big difference. It's just going to be a lot. You're going to have to get there a lot faster if you want to get position. Where in the Derby, you have like 500 yards, similar in the Preakness. You just don't have that much time at Laurel on Saturday.
All right, you mentioned the maiden Ocelli and started the Derby at 70-1, ended up the show horse. Now, is there going to be some love for Ocelli, or going back to being a long shot again?
No, I think there's going to be love for him. He's like 5 or 6 to 1. He's on the morning line coming out of Pimlico. He's 6 at Bet Online. He's a similar number. I went back, Rick, and watched all the replays on all these horses after they drew the field on Monday. I did on Tuesday morning, and I thought Ocelli's Derby was awesome. I thought he ran phenomenal. I can't explain why it happened. I just know that it happened. And sometimes these young horses, all of a sudden, they're like young athletes. Right? All of a sudden, it just happens. So I think the horse is a legitimate contender. Now, I'm not picking him. It'd be hard for me to pick a horse who was 70-1, and now he's going to be 5 to 1. He's never won a race. But if he wins, if he'd won the Derby, I would have been shocked. I will not be shocked if he wins the Preakness.
All right. What do you think of Iron Honor? Because it's a Chad Brown horse, and you got the great Flavion Prat in the Silks.
For those 2 reasons, he's my pick. I don't have anything like the confidence I had in Denon Bourbon 2 weeks ago. The first 2 races were very good when he won his first start, and he was a real good winner of the Gotham. Last time, not so good at the Wood Memorial, but you made it. It's the connections. Great trainer. He's won this race twice. Similar kind of horses with similar form coming out of the same race. And Pratt's the best big money jockey there is in the country right now. So that's my pick. But again, for your listeners, Rick, I'm not nearly as confident as I was 2 weeks ago.
Well, I mean, if the horse didn't break his kneecap, you would have been right. So that's not. It's not really on you. Yeah.
That was one you'd like to have back, but
yeah,
it's the nature of the game.
So Taj Mahal, I said horses for courses. Taj Mahal is trained at Laurel and is unbeaten in 3 starts there, and was the runaway winner of the Tessio Stakes. So, how much? I mean, this horse doesn't have to get in a car or a plane or a boat. He's just right there.
Yeah, and is trained by Brittany Russell, so we could have another woman winning a Triple Crown race for the first time, and we'd have a Triple Crown for women. Remember, Jenna Antonucci won the Belmont a couple of years ago, and now Cherie, and now Brittany Russell, who's been a leading trainer at Laurel year after year after year. And the horse is actually ridden by her husband, Sheldon Russell. And I think he's a contender, and I like the fact that he has the rail. Everybody's complaining about it. I actually think it forces their hand. I think they're going to have to send him to the front and see if he can last, and that's how he won his last race. So I make Taj Mahal a contender in the race, especially if he can clear the field coming out of the first turn. That's not going to be easy. There are other horses with a lot of early speed, like Napoleon Solo and Chip Honcho. And by the way, Chip Honcho by Jose Ortiz. Since his Derby horse isn't here, he's going to try to win the Derby and the Preakness, so 2 different horses.
Yeah, an Asmus horse, yeah. And by the way, if you're a female trainer, is the rule that you have to be married to a jockey?
No.
They both are. What's going on?
Not to my knowledge.
All right. Well, I always like to take a look at long shots just for fun. And after what happened at Kentucky Derby, maybe we should. And the longest of the long is the 8-horse Bull by the Horns. Now, usually when I ask people about 51, the ones they say, Rick, you would have a better chance of winning jogging on the track. But we can't think that way. Tell me about, like, Bull by the Horns, Crupper, Corona de Oro, horses that are long shots.
So Bull by the Horns is trained by Safi Joseph, who's annually one of the top 2 or 3 trainers in the country, a number of wins. He's had some really, really good horses through the years. His breakthrough race was when he won the Pennsylvania Derby in 2019. So you got a really good trainer. He just hasn't shown anything at this point that he could beat these kind of horses. He ran in the Fountain of Youth against Commandment, was beaten almost 20 lengths. So Corona d'Oro was interesting. He was actually entered in the Derby. He was number 24. He just never got in. They scratched 3. He needed a 4th scratch. He ran a pretty decent 3rd in the Lexington Stakes for Dallas Stewart, who is known for winning races with long shots, the trainer. So, yeah, not out of question. Crupper is interesting. This is one of those races, Rick, where you could make at least somewhat of a case for probably 10 or 11 of these horses on the right day.
Wow.
Again, that's what makes it so difficult.
Wow. All right, last question for you. I was looking at some of the props, betonline.ag. Yep. One of the cool moments, obviously, at the Derby was the Ortiz brothers embracing their hands together. And obviously the first time that's ever happened, 1-2. And at first I thought that was just very nice, unexpected jockey camaraderie. And then I'm like, oh, wait, those guys are brothers. So if they go 1-2, again, 25-1, is it worth a punt?
You know, it might be for this reason. For the people that are racetrackers, this is like betting a Quinella, where you have either Ortiz brother wins with either one running second, right? You get them both ways. You don't need just way to finish first and I ran to finish second. Either way, you win. And you said it's 25-1 bet online. So you're getting Chip Honcho with Jose, who's riding in the form of his life, and talking with Irad, who was a really good 2-year-old. He just hasn't quite produced that form, but you're getting a huge jockey change to Irad. So, yeah, how about that at bet online? 1-2 Ortiz brothers. You get 25-1. I like that. And those props are great. The over-under on the time at 155. I'd probably take the over, given how slow this group is. But we shall see on Saturday.
I think their sister's named Quinella, so maybe you should you should go there. All right. Dick Girardi with betonline.ag. Check it out for the Preakness. Dick, always good stuff. Thanks for your knowledge.
You got it. Thanks so much, Rick.
All right. We'll take a quick break. We'll come on back.
Listen, were you forced into getting a solar contract and now you just don't want it anymore? Maybe the solar company misled you. Or is your solar contract buried with hidden fees? Are you not saving the amount of money you thought you would on your energy costs? Don't worry. At the Solar Exit Hotline, we can help you cancel your solar contract, even if the panels are already installed. Our experienced legal team will review your contract and help you cancel it, possibly saving you thousands of dollars. You got to call right now for complete details. So listen, if you're not happy with your solar contract for any reason, we are here to help you cancel it. Call the Solar Exit Hotline now for immediate options to help you exit your solar contract. This call is 100% free.
800-826-4073. 800-826-4073. 800-826-4073. That's 800-826-4073.
Listen up, guys. Are you experiencing any of the following? Fatigue, less drive, poor performance? If so, you may be one of the nearly 30 million men in the U.S. today dealing with ED. But did you know you don't have to pay hundreds for a prescription anymore? And you don't have to deal with the hassle of seeing the doctor or the embarrassment of going to the pharmacy for a certain pill. Now, with one free call, you can find out how Herbal Virility Max can help you feel like a man again. For over a decade, Herbal Virility Max has helped guys just like you put a smile back on their face with improved performance and drive. Call today and ask about our buy one, get one free offer.
800-690-8223. 800-690-8223. 800-690-8223. 800-690-8223. That's 800-690-8223. Right now, you can switch from cable television to satellite television for free. That's right, we're offering free equipment, free installation, plus get a free $100 prepaid Visa card. Call the Satellite TV hotline right now. Make the switch from cable to satellite television and expand your viewing horizon. On top of free installation, for a limited time, we're offering a fixed price guarantee. With Satellite TV, you'll save money over your expensive cable bill. Plus, get access to hundreds of channels. And when you call right now, you can also ask about our seniors and military discount. So make the switch to Satellite TV right now. Everybody gets free installation, free equipment, plus a $100 prepaid Visa card. Call right now and you can switch to Satellite TV, watching everything you wanted to within the next week. And remember, installation's free, so call now. 800-696-2871. 800-696-2871. 800-696-2871. That's 800-696-2871.
If we're handing out insults for being fat, let's have a go at him. Look at him. Why? And he's got glasses. Let's call 4 eyes as well. Why don't we call him Fatty Fatty Toad Boy? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Don't be getting your granny panties all in a bunch. We got Rick Tittle up in here.
All right, thank you for that, and welcome back to the show. Yesterday was the Major League debut for a young outfielder named Henry Bolte, not Sky Bolt. Henry Bolte, and for the A's. And his first at bat, a single. Second at bat, a single. Third at bat, sacrifice fly, first RBI. Really nice for him. This is a guy who was born in San Francisco, raised in Palo Alto, went to Palo Alto High School, like Harbaugh briefly, and Jock Peterson and Devontae Adams and others. But he grew up a huge A's fan, despite being on the peninsula. And there's pictures of him at A's games at the Coliseum and standing next to a World Series trophy. And so he said this was a dream come true. He committed to play at UT Austin, but was a second-round pick of the A's, and they gave him a $2 million signing bonus, so he made the right choice. He's only 22 years old. But this is, once again, another moment that should have happened at the Coliseum. You know, it's just, and I know they're on the road, but what I mean is just, you know, and then Nick Kurtz hits a grand slam. And all this stuff is just happening in the ether. And these guys just deserve more, you know. If they had a brand new stadium in Vegas and all this was going on in this beautiful palace, I'd be like, all right, well, at least they're experiencing that. The fact that they're playing in a minor league park with the outfield is just grass, and then left field is nothing. There's no stands in left field. In fact, that's where your clubhouse is. And when you get thrown out, you have to do the long walk. And if you want something from the clubhouse, you have to wait in between innings and then run on the warning track to get out there. But, you know, there's a kid who, like me, grew up at the Coliseum, and what an amazing thing to get drafted by the A's and become a millionaire when you're a high school senior, and to do really well and to come through. And your first major league game, no nerves. He must have been walking on air. He gets his first major league hit done in his first at bat. Boom, we're done. You know, second at bat, single. Third at bat, sac fly. And, you know, I just saw these pictures of him as a little kid at the Coliseum, and he's just so fired up for the A's. And I don't know, I'm just still bitter and butthurt and everything else you want to say, that this should have happened for him where the A's are supposed to be. That's my opinion. All right. 1-800-878-PLAY. Come on back for Hour 3.
I'm Mike Sempervive with the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network 2-minute warning. And in the time I've been doing these little time fillers, I've exalted a lot of pitchers. I've talked about Shohei Ohtani and Mason Miller starts and fantasy booked their Cy Young paths. Talked about Sandy Alcantara being one of the most underappreciated pitchers in the game. Pretty sure I've mentioned Tarek Skubal a bunch. And then there's Paul Skeens, who at only 23 years old may be the best of them all. We were reminded of that again in Pittsburgh yesterday, where the ace took a no-hitter into the 7th inning before it was foiled as the Pirates beat Colorado 3-1. Skeens' control was nearly immaculate. He struck out the side in the first 2 innings and baffled the Rockies over 8 innings. He gave up only 2 hits, no walks, and struck out 10 on only 98 pitches. I grew up in awe of watching Nolan Ryan pitch for the Astros and Rangers in the 1980s and 90s. And since he retired in 1993, there have been a lot of great starters who can rack up strikeouts, not the least of which was Randy Johnson. But none have really made me feel like I was watching someone in Ryan's mold. Skeens does, and I think a lot of it is just his presence and how he carries himself on the field. There's no self-adulation or gimmicks. There's not a bunch of high fives and smiles. It's a grown-ass man showing up at the butcher shop to begin his work as a cold-blooded sausage maker. Skeens has shown a maturity beyond his years from the time he stepped on a major league field for the first time in 2024. And I don't know the guy's life story, but I do know he could have played anywhere coming out of high school, and he chose the Air Force Academy fully intent on wanting to fly fighter jets. Skeens ultimately transferred to LSU when it was clear that his service to this country would be best served by way of its pastime, who desperately needed his service. And he has delivered. Named as the NL All-Star starter after only pitching for weeks in the majors and finishing 2024 third in the Cy Young voting, Skeens won the Cy in 2025 with the best pitching WAR and WHIP in all of MLB. And that's where he blows me away the most. Less than Ryan and much more like Greg Maddux, Skeens doesn't walk batters and he doesn't give up home runs. He barely lets anyone on base at all, 25 hits and 9 starts total. He's given up only 8 extra base hits this year and has not walked anyone since April 13th, a span of 25 consecutive innings. A gem that throws gems. Paul Skeens is special, and it's my only hope that in this day and age where pitchers burn out their arms within only a few years of making the majors, Skeens can last. Because the game, especially the long-suffering fans in Pittsburgh, need him. I'm Mike Sempervive with the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network 2-minute warning.
Every champion has a team behind them. And for thousands of families without insurance, Christ Clinic is that team. At Christ Clinic in Katy, Texas, they provide high-quality, faith-based health care to people who can't afford it, because everyone deserves a shot at health, no matter their income or insurance status. Their doctors, volunteers, their mission, rooted in compassion, their impact, over 10,000 patient visits every year and growing. But they can't do it without help from fans like you. If you ever cheered for a comeback story, this is your chance to be a part of one. Donate today at ChristClinicKaty.org and help them keep the doors open for those who need it most. One gift can be the difference between surviving and thriving. Christ Clinic in Katy, where health meets hope and faith goes to work. That's Christ Clinic Katy, spelled KATY.org. Team up with them today.
Have you been daydreaming about losing weight for years? Do you just yo-yo back and forth? At Innovative Wellness Center, we have a holistic weight loss program that allows you to lose up to 20 pounds in 30 days. People are losing weight like crazy and keeping it off. It can be done from anywhere in the United States. Go to our website at www.innovativewellness.center and schedule your complimentary consultation today.
Getting together with friends to watch the game? Then you'll need American Premium Vodka. Handcrafted and pure, this is the one thing all Americans can agree on. Founder Mark Gus Scott chose the finest natural elements America has to offer, and you'll taste how great it is to be an American. Now available at Bevmo, GoPuff, Hy-Vee, and Fairway stores. American Premium Vodka. This is the America we need right now. Go to AmericanPremiumVodka.com. Celebrate responsibly.
Quick question. How many calls, texts, or messages does your business miss every week? Nights, weekends, busy days. That's lost money. Create Assistance helps businesses fix that problem using AI employees that answer calls, respond to texts, book appointments, and follow up with leads 24/7 automatically. No extra staff, no complicated software. Everything runs inside one simple command center that replaces scattered tools, missed follow-ups, and manual busywork. Whether you're a service business, office, or multi-location company, Create Assistance keeps your business responsive, organized, and running even when you're off the clock. Stop letting leads slip through the cracks. Visit createassistance.ai to book a free call. Or you can call or text 515-500-2224. Again, that's 515-500-2224. We look forward to hearing from you.
Rick Tittle knows his sports.
I hate that guy.
I love that guy. Oh my gosh, he's so fine. Rick Tittle brings home the bacon, fries it up in a pan, and then he eats it.
Ricky T in the hizzle for shizzle, biznatch.
All right, thank you so much, and welcome back to Titillating Sports with Rick Tittle. Loren Goldfarb, filmmaker, and the subject of the film, Chad Shorty McDaniel, 96 pounds of dynamite. They'll join us in about 20 minutes. The NFL schedule is being leaked. It's so weird. Okay, now we have the Thanksgiving games. Now the Christmas. I looked, I go, please don't let the Raiders be on Thanksgiving. Thank goodness they're not. And then I see all the Monday, they've leaked 80% of the Monday night and Thursday night games. Why are they being leaked? Anyway, we already know whoever's going to play. We're just trying to get the day. The only thing I even remotely care about is when the Raiders are playing at the Niners. That's the only thing I'm halfway interested in what that day will be. But they try to play it up like, no, can you believe it? The schedule is coming out. By the way, so far, no Raiders on Monday night, no Raiders on Thursday night. I thought maybe with the Mendoza thing, they'd be more interested. The Dolphins will be at the Raiders week 1, though, so his hometown team, Miami, is coming. And plus, you guys, the Chiefs are going to play on Taylor Swift's birthday. Now, is that extra sweet or extra brutal? So they, of course, have been dating now almost 3 years, and they are engaged. And the rumor is they're getting married next month. Those poor people, well, they're not poor. I'm just saying, those people can't say in public where they're getting married. There'd be more helicopters than Madonna's wedding. It would be like Prince Charles and Lady Di. So wherever they get married, it's going to have to be small. But she will turn 37 while the Chiefs are in Cincinnati. That's kind of fun. Go to a football game. Check out the Bengals. Joe Burrow is more handsome than my fiance. No, she won't say that. Get it on your calendar. December 13th. Taylor is turning 37. And she still looks 17. So good for her. All right, I'm Rick Tittle. Come on back.
Have you suffered sports betting losses? There is someone who wants to fight for you to see you get back what you have lost to those sports betting companies. Michael Watts is a prolific trial lawyer with over $11 billion in total recoveries for his clients. And now with sportsbettingclaim.com, he'd like to help you. Michael has been a leader in some of the largest and most complex cases in the country, from defective cars and tires to damaging drugs and medical products. He has always represented the rights of individuals harmed by large corporations. His efforts recently resulted in the recovery of billions for individuals who lost their properties to fires carelessly caused by electric companies and others. Michael knows that sports betting companies preyed on and manipulated consumers into losing their life savings, and he wants to make them pay. If you have suffered financial hardship as a result of online sports betting and would like help seeking compensation, please submit your claim information for evaluation at sportsbettingclaim.com. Michael Watts is focused on winning for you. sportsbettingclaim.com.
Lower your car payment today. Lower your car payment
today. Yes, you heard us right. You can lower your car payment right now by making this free call and save up to $1,400 a year on your current car payments. Think about your current car payment right now. What's that costing you per year? Now think about what it would be like to put an extra $1,400 back in your pocket. That's the average savings our customers experience. We can help you drive the same car and pay less every month by lowering your car payment's interest rate to as low as 4.67%. At Rate Genius, we can work with you to refinance any car payment. If you qualify, it costs you nothing to find out how you can lower your car payment. To learn more, call this number right now.
800-832-2816. 800-832-2816. 800-832-2816. That's 800-832-2816.
I get a lot of calls from people across the country who are suffering from the affliction of IRS tax debt. Hi, I'm the tax doctor. Call me right now. My team specializes in helping people over the age of 50 solve their tax problem. And the big tax problem is the more money you can save. If you owe the IRS money, or you're about to owe the IRS money, or even if you need to file years of unfiled returns, call us right now. Our friendly, highly trained representatives are waiting right now to take your call. Over the years, we've had thousands of people just like you stop the tax liens, wage garnishments, and harassing phone calls. You don't need to send the IRS a big fat check. We can negotiate a lower amount. That's what we guarantee for you. So call us right now.
800-603-9359. 800-603-9359. 800-603-9359. That's 800-603-9359.
Titillating Sports with Rick Tittle. Rick Tittle is a genius, the best show ever. He's so wonderful, genius, the best show ever. He's so wonderful. Titillating Sports with Rick Tittle. Rick Tittle he's so handsome, he's a genius.
I am so excited to be back on the Rick Tittle Show.
All right, thank you for that. Welcome back to the show. JD Sharp at 11:40 Pacific time. We're hearing now, so lines are open at 1-800-878-PLAY. Last night, Shohei Ohtani, masterful against the Giants. Listen to his ERA now, 0.82. The next closest is a 1.35, more than a half run better. Only two hitters have more home runs since Ohtani came into Major League Baseball, Aaron Judge and Kyle Schwarber. Only one pitcher has a lower ERA since Shohei Ohtani has come into the league, Jacob deGrom. I mean, what can you say about him? That, it just doesn't describe it. Dom, do you want a quick trivia question since there's no JD?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. So Devon Achane has agreed to a 4-year, $68 million extension with Miami yesterday. Achane, believe it or not, I didn't know his stats were this good. He is one of just 3 NFL players with at least 3,000 rushing yards and 1,000 receiving yards since his debut in 2023. So since that time, who are the other two guys with 3,000 on the ground and 1,000 through the air?
Is it Saquon and Bijan?
It is Bijan Robinson. It is not Saquon.
Jahmyr Gibbs?
Very good. Wow, nicely done. That would have taken me a lot longer. All right, World Cup update. I am scheduled. I have a ticket anyway, since I guess I didn't get a credential, which totally sucks. But to see Austria and Jordan on June 14th or 16th, something like that. And you might see a lot of empty seats because Jordanians cannot easily travel in the United States. The war with Iran has made their ability to get visas extremely difficult. A similar situation right now is playing out with Turkish fans who are also set to play out here in Santa Clara, too. The U.S. embassies in Amman, Jordan, and Adana, Turkey, shuttered to non-Americans in March. In other words, if you're not American, don't come knocking. This embassy ain't rocking with any visas. It's just one of the latest on this list of political and policy reasons why these hoteliers and airline companies saying that this big boon in money for the World Cup ain't really working out. And so, interestingly, there was a study commissioned by the American Hotel and Lodging Association, of course, the AHLA, and they have come to say that the World Cup will be a quote-unquote non-event for overseas travelers. Wow. 75% of rooms in the Bay Area that were supposed to be booked by now are empty. And so the consulate here, we have a lot of foreign consulates here in San Francisco. The Italian one is actually on this street, Broadway, if you go way up to the fancy part. It's a beautiful building with Italian flags outside. It's not an embassy, but it's like a baby embassy. Oh, it's a baby. But anyway, Jordan's counsel in San Francisco is a guy named Joe Ayub. He said, the reality is they had to cancel. There's deadlines on certain hotel and airline reservations, and to avoid losing more money or any money, they had to cancel. Wow. So the fans coming from overseas, already complicated by long wait times for a visa. And there was apparently social media vetting. Not like, oh, did Joey Bosa say something bad about Colin Kaepernick in high school? Did Fernando Mendoza said, let's get the police side of the story in the George Floyd's case, right? No. This was the State Department making sure that snowflake politicians weren't offended. Now, if you just tweet nonstop death to America, that's one thing. But if you just say, you know what, I think the president is whack, well, you're not getting a visa. Not this guy. This guy will never let that happen. Public, can you think about that? Social media vetting for anyone applying for a visa. He was like, Rick, that's very important. These terrorists are... Maybe to a certain extent that is true. But because of this, because of the panic now that America, which was the first ever World Cup to sell out, 1994. Think about that. We had World Cups in Argentina and Germany and Italy, and they didn't sell out. Uruguay didn't sell out. It's just because Brazil. I think this is they were just so used to soccer. Why should I spend my money on that stupid team? In America, everybody went. But maybe not this time. So now, with all people complaining that Trump's government is making it too hard and making it too unwelcome for foreigners, that now the White House is coming out with something called a Fast Pass program. So in other words, if you have a ticket to any World Cup game, you can skip ahead of anyone else waiting for a visa. All right, well, as a sports fan, I kind of like that. You might say it's completely unfair to someone who's they make pottery and they've been waiting 3 years for a visa. You know, it's like Mickey Mantle skipping ahead of the liver transplant line when he's, 70 years old because he's famous and he had cash. So 650 new consulate workers have been hired by the State Department to help with fast passes because the games are starting in less than a month. And so those embassies, by the way, are still closed, mostly because they're afraid of terrorist attacks because of the Iranian situation. So under the best of circumstances, the State Department wanted to get 80% of global ticket holders to get visas in under 60 days. Well, the World Cup is going to be over in 60 days. Okay? It's going to run for about a month, and it's going to start in less than a month. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be done in 60 days. So Trump said last week, these events will attract millions of passionate fans around the world. I've directed my entire team to do everything within our power to make the World Cup an unprecedented success, and that's what it's going to be. We're going to make sure of it. Now, also we know about Trump, if you voted for him or not, we do know for a fact that no matter what happens to the World Cup, even if there are 3 people in the stands, he's going to say, what a success. We broke all the records. We've never seen such popularity. No, the ratings, it's always, he loves ratings. The ratings were through the roof. So there are some significant barriers. And just until this week, Algeria fans who wanted to watch their team play in Santa Clara on June 16th were subjected to a massive bond fee for a tourism visa. That bond fee goes to Algeria and Cape Verde and Senegal and Tunisia and Cote d'Ivoire, all those citizens. A mandatory fee that they would get $15,000, and then if they went back to their home country, then they would get the money back. You're putting a deposit down on yourself. All right, let's take a quick break. We will come on back.
Who's watching? Tell me who's watching? Who's watching me? I always feel like somebody's watching me, and I have no privacy. Oh, I always feel like somebody's watching me. Tell me, is it just a dream? Oh, when I come home at night, I roll the door.
I'm holding in my hand the American Silver Eagle dollar. It's a beautiful piece of American history, and it's 1 ounce of silver. Originally minted in 1986, these coins are a beautiful classic piece of American history, and they're a great investment you should add to your portfolio. The beauty of silver is that however much you have available to invest, silver is affordable and easy to acquire, with one coin costing around $30. So, if you choose to invest a few thousand in silver, you can get quite a bit for your money. And you'll have a tangible asset that you can hold, one you can be proud to own. Claim your piece of American history with American Silver Eagle dollars. Call the Silver Hotline right now.
800-620-1624. 800-620-1624. 800-620-1624. That's 800-620-1624.
Every champion has a team behind them, and for thousands of families without insurance, Christ Clinic is that team. At Christ Clinic in Katy, Texas, they provide high-quality, faith-based health care to people who can't afford it, because everyone deserves a shot at health, no matter their income or insurance status. Their doctors, volunteers, their mission, rooted in compassion, their impact, over 10,000 patient visits every year and growing. But they can't do it without help from fans like you. If you ever cheered for a comeback story, this is your chance to be a part of one. Donate today at ChristClinicKaty.org and help them keep the doors open for those who need it most. One gift can be the difference between surviving and thriving. Christ Clinic in Katy, where health meets hope and faith goes to work. That's Christ Clinic Katy, spelled Katy.org. Team up with them today.
Let's be honest. Most businesses don't struggle because demand is low. They struggle because their back end can't handle growth. Leads come in, but follow-up is slow. Calls get missed. Appointments don't get confirmed. Everything lives in different places. So even when marketing works, revenue doesn't scale. That's a systems problem. Create Assistance fixes this by building a done-for-you CRM and automation system that captures every lead, follows up automatically, confirms appointments, and keeps everything organized in one place. And only after that foundation is built, AI voice and chat employees get added on. If your business feels chaotic behind the scenes, it's time to fix the back end. Visit createassistance.ai and book your call today. Or you can call or text 515-500-2224. Again, that's 515-500-2224. We look forward to hearing from you.
And by the way, can I just say, Rick, that Rick Tittle is one of the great names of all time.
Don't be getting your granny panties all in a bunch. We got Rick Tittle up in here.
All right, thank you for that, and welcome back to the show. Rick Tittle with you coast to coast and around the world on the American Forces Radio Network. There's a brand new documentary that just came out this week on Prime Video and Apple TV. It's called 96 Pounds of Dynamite, and it is about Chad McDaniel, nicknamed Shorty, and he joins us on the line, and we also have the director of the film, Loren Goldfarb. Loren, let's start with you because you went into a pool hall, you see Chad playing, and you kind of think there's this diminutive person in a motorized wheelchair, and you probably thought, well, that's nice that he knows how to play. Oh, no, he doesn't know how to play. He's crushing everyone. Is that when you thought that I got to find out more about this guy, and this is a film here?
Yeah, I would say the first part definitely that, this is interesting. I need to find out more about him. That in and of itself, I don't think, makes a movie, but I wanted to know more and see what else was there. And, Chad and I ended up meeting subsequently. A mutual friend introduced us. I went to his house, met with Chad and his wife for a couple hours, and that's when I knew. When I walked away from that conversation, I knew that we had enough substance to make a film.
Chad, welcome to the show, and I know you've had a lot of physical obstacles. One of them, the brittle bone disease, osteogenesis imperfecta, as they say in the genus. But growing up in rural Mississippi with the physical challenges, who was it that said you should play pool, and then who taught you to be so good, or was it self-taught?
It was mostly self-taught. My dad played some when I was real young, but I never really saw him play until I was a teenager. But it was pretty much, I found a bumper pool table when I was 11, and I taught myself how to play bumper pool. And at 13, I started playing on a 3.5 by 7.
Chad, what was your determination to be the best? Was it the one thing where you were like, hey, I'm excellent at this? Do you love pool, or did pool kind of find you?
No, I really love pool. I love the sound of the ball falling. I love the game. I love the strategy. I love the fact that I can play it. I can compete with pretty much any normal-bodied person at the game. And I guess what really started my love affair was watching Willie Moscone and Minnesota Fats on ABC in the 1970s.
Yeah, no, we're right in the same genre there for sure. So, Loren, when you're making a film, I mean, it's a compelling story, but there's also, when you get into somebody's personal life, you find out there are highs and lows, and there are a lot of lows, and there's, career decisions, and how did you kind of cover that? And also, telling Chad, like, look, I can't sugarcoat anything.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So during that very first meeting that I described with Chad and Allison, I made it very clear that, look, if we're going to do this, we're going to be following you in your life the next few months leading up to this big tournament. Chad, that you mentioned me watching him in a pool hall, wiping the floor with his opponent. That was at a tournament where he won 6 out of 7 matches, and that qualified him to play in a national tournament in Las Vegas. So that was October when he won that tournament. The national tournament in Las Vegas was in late April, early May. So there were several months in between. And I said, look, we're going to need to follow you. This can't just be about what happens in Vegas. We're going to follow you. We want to learn about your life and so on. And I said, things are going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen in the next few months. There could be some wonderful things that happen, some not so wonderful things. But you have to let us into your life. And if you don't want to do that, I understand. And we should just shake hands and agree to be friends, but we're not going to make a film together. So, but Chad was an open book, and so was Allison, and there was very little hesitation at all. And then as you see in the film, it ended up being a very, very consequential year in Chad's life, for several months. Some very significant things happened, some of them not so good. And, Chad let us in on those those moments. And I think you get a better sense of Chad's journey and his life through those moments.
Very interesting. And Chad, for you, being underestimated, I'm sure, have you ever sandbagged somebody like, oh, I'll bet you $1,000, and then they're like, you ever do one of those deals?
No, I'm not a hustler. I'm a shark. And the difference between a hustler will let you win a game. A shark will just eat you alive, and that's me.
Very good. So you take this out to the circuits, and Loren winning the Audience Choice Award at Vero Beach. Whenever, as a filmmaker, you make something and you want it to resonate with the public, but what was it like to show this to a bunch of strangers and to have that type of reception?
It's really been wonderful. Vero Beach was great because it was a mixture of, Chad and I both live in the same community. We were in Melbourne, Florida, which for those who don't know is just south of Kennedy Space Center, Cape Canaveral. So central part of the state, but on the Atlantic Ocean. And, we have a lot of friends and family. Chad does, I do. And the Vero Beach Festival is about an hour south. We're very fortunate. It's a very respected, good festival just south of us. So we had a fair number of friends and family, but at least half the audience, if not more, they were strangers to us at both of our screenings. And the reception was fantastic. It was really very heartening. But I would say, and I don't know if Chad would agree with this or not, he could speak for himself, but I would say maybe even more gratifying was the response we got in New York. We were, a couple weeks after that festival, we were in New York for Real Abilities, which is the largest disabilities-focused festival in the world. And we had 2 screenings there as well. We both went into that with a little bit of trepidation, I think, because Chad is, and when you see the film, those who haven't seen it yet, you'll see what we're talking about. He's not politically correct. He uses terminology that's kind of frowned upon in the disabilities community. We were like, ooh, geez, what's the response going to be? And it was just overwhelmingly positive from both disabled audience members and those, who weren't disabled. It was just they were all just they just embraced the film. And I think that I felt great about that because, as I said, we weren't sure how it was going to be received in that environment. But it was very well received, and that was, I think, the height of it for me, of our festival run, was that.
Very cool. Last question. And Chad, now that you're a quote-unquote movie star, have things changed for you, or is it back to business, same old, same old?
Back to retirement, thankfully. I'm about done with this movie business crap. To be honest with you, I'm still me. I'm still the same old Chad, and I don't think it'll ever hit me, to be honest with you. My life sort of has a way of keeping me in check. Around me, just people around me, things like that. I'm just me.
This movie is out right now on Prime and Apple TV. It's entitled 96 Pounds of Dynamite. For more information, you go to dynamite-film.com. We've been speaking to the director, Loren Goldfarb, and the subject, Chad McDaniel, Shorty the Shark. Gentlemen, congratulations on the film, man.
Thank you so much for having us. Appreciate it.
All right, good stuff. And yeah, the equivalent, I would say, would be like if you had mini me in an electric wheelchair. And, you think about all the challenges that guy's had. That's amazing. I wish I was better at pool. A friend of mine who lived up the street with me with this amazing pool table, and so that's all he would do. He did play other sports, but I'm just saying, like when he was at home in the 70s. So I'm really good at ping pong because we had one of those at my Tahoe cabin. But everybody my age is pretty good at ping pong. That's not really a standout thing. Pool is one of those things where, even to this day, because I'll shoot now and then, I won't make a shot 5 in a row, and then I'll sink 3 in a row, and I'm like, oh, I'm back. And then I'll miss 5 in a row. So I would say I'm batting under 500, which is pretty good. But no, It's and then in England when they play, as they say, billiards, but they have snooker, snooker, Snickers. Snooker, the ball doesn't just fall into the pocket. You have like a little corridor that it has to go down. So it's harder to get it in. And then when I grew up, I also had a bumper pool. And then there was also what was the table with the little rings that we would hit? What was the name of that table? Carom board. That's what it was. Carom board. And you know why we played the carom board? Because we were bored. And then, of course, on cruise ships, I got to play it once. I've never been on a cruise ship. You couldn't pay me. But I played on land. Shuffleboard. Come on back. We'll name all of those things with J.D. Sharp.
I am an American veteran. I'm proud to have served this country. Helping veterans is something all Americans can participate in, and it's as simple as donating an old car that you have sitting around. When you call the Veteran Car Donation Program, they'll explain how their program works, and then arrange a time they can come and pick up your vehicle for free. Running or not, it doesn't matter. They take cars, trucks, motorcycles, or vans. Show your support by donating your car and get a tax deduction in the process. Call the Veteran Car Donation Program right now. They'll come and pick your car up for free, and you'll get a tax deduction in the process. Call the number we're about to give you right now. Thank you, and God bless America.
800-887-1097. 800-887-1097. 800-887-1097. That's 800-887-1097.
Sometimes life changes, and the house you once loved becomes a burden. Too many repairs, too many memories, too much to handle on your own. If you'd like to sell your home fast, we can help at the Home Buyers Hotline. We can help you sell your home as is, no cleaning, no showings, and there are absolutely no hidden fees or real estate commissions. We'll pay you a fair price for your home in cash. Whether you're downsizing, handling an estate, or just ready for peace of mind, call us. We'll help you walk away from your problem property in no time at all and get you the cash in your bank account with little hassles. If you'd like to sell your home fast, as is, we can help at the Home Buyers Hotline.
Call Want to Sell Your Home now for a free quote to sell your home in any condition. Call 800-950-3143. 800-950-3143. That's 800-950-3143.
Now at Staples, find hot deals on HP, America's most trusted printer brand. Whether you need to print invoices or eye-catching presentations, HP delivers with exceptional speed, reliability, and vibrant color. And with HP, replenishing ink is simple. Find HP ink cartridges in-store at Staples or subscribe to HP Instant Ink and never worry about running out. And right now with home and office hot deals at Staples, you can save up to $150 on select HP printers through February 1st.
Kohl's has styles that make summer feel easy, even when faced with hard decisions like lounging at the pool or on the patio, grilling up a hamburger or hot dog, rolling down the windows or turning up the AC. Yeah, summer is full of tough choices. With 15% off outfits your family will love, getting dressed isn't one of them. Shop effortless looks at Kohl's and Kohl's.com. Select styles. Offer ends May 17th. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Resistors to mind reprogramming will be exterminated for the good of the state.
What kind of government you guys got here? This is worse than California.
This is the only sports talk show that features a Rhodes Scholar, but he ain't here today. Now, back to Rick Tittle.
All right, thank you for that. And always great to catch up with our friend J.D. Sharp, professional bettor and prognosticator with Pro Wagering. You can email him sharp@betmypicks.com. No silent E, just sharp@betmypicks.com. J.D., to talk a little MLB, and when I look at the American League East, Boston had high hopes. They've already fired almost their whole staff. Toronto was an inch away from winning the World Series. They're not off to a great start. Baltimore is still a little shaky. And so you think, well, the Yankees are the best of the bunch. Oh, no, wait a minute. They're 2 games behind Tampa Bay. Should we be taking the Rays seriously, or should we say, hey, we're only 6 weeks in, they're going to fall back down?
Yeah, we should say we're only 6 weeks in, they're going to fall back down, Rick. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Rick?
Yes.
Okay, good. Junior Caminero is really good, and he's had a pretty decent season so far. I think, and I do like Chandler Simpson. I like him a lot. He's a pretty fun player to watch. He's fast, hits the ball pretty well. 300+ guy. But I don't love their pitching staff. Rasmussen's been really overplaying, in my opinion, for how good he is. The Rays have a good coach. They're always gonna be in the hunt, but the Yankees have a ton of talent, obviously. They're 2 games behind. Judge is playing pretty well. Bellinger's playing relatively well. I guess they don't have as many weapons offensively. Volpe hasn't played that well. They got Goldschmidt. He's playing fine. Grisham's. They're actually hitting the ball really well. I don't see the Yankees just not winning that division. Considering, the Orioles. I thought the Orioles had a chance to win it, and they just haven't performed at all. Gunner's played bad. Alonso's played bad. They made a lot of good moves. Rogers hasn't been the ace that I thought he was, or that I expected him to be. So yeah, the Orioles should win that division. But to me, I'd be very surprised if the Yankees didn't win at this point.
When I look out in the West, the A's are in first place. They're only 2 games over. They called up a recent second-round pick, Henry Bolte, who had a nice debut, 2 hits and a sack fly. And we know how good Nick Kurtz is. For A's fans, can you dream the dream with Big Dumper being the worst hitter in baseball and every other team being sub 500? Or is this just kind of a spring fling for the A's?
The A's have played really well. They're pitching fine. Sonstrom's has hit really well. Obviously, Shea Langeliers is hitting 330 or 320. He's hitting great.
And by the way, JD, I hate to interrupt you, but I am gonna right here. It's Soderstrom and Langeliers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Soderstrom and Langeliers have both played really well. Rooker's been fine. The pitching staff's been okay. They're still the A's. Let's not forget that. And yeah, Kurtz hasn't hit a lot of home runs, but he has gotten walked a lot.
Yeah.
I think he's walked 60 times or something this year already, which is pretty impressive considering they played 42 games, or 44 games or whatever it is. But it's nice to see a team like the A's and even the White Sox, who are starting to play, at least be competitive in their games. For a while they weren't even competitive at all. So yeah, are the A's going to win their division? Maybe. I think the Mariners pitching staff is just too good. And Julio Rodriguez has really started to step it up lately. He's starting to play well. I don't see Raleigh just not hitting for the entire year. That shouldn't be a thing. And they're always active in the trade deadline. So they'll be active as well. And they've got Bryce Miller pitched well last night. They got Brian Wu, George Kirby, Luis Castillo, and Logan Gilbert. In my opinion, the Mariners have by far the best 5 pitchers in baseball as far as their starting pitchers. So, yeah, the A's are doing fine right now, but I think we'll see kind of again with the Rays and the Yankees, it's kind of the same thing. And I would even say it's even more so here because that Mariners pitching staff is just so good.
Yeah, no doubt. By the way, Dom just said Raleigh got put on the IL with an oblique, so he'll have time to think about that, I guess.
Well, they'll probably start to win more then because he's not going to go 0 for 60.
Well, speaking of that, the Dodgers told Ohtani last night, look, you're not going to hit, you're going to pitch against the Giants, and he's not going to hit today either. He's getting a little rest. And, his ERA is now, an 0.82. The next lowest is more than a half a run more. But I love this stat on Ohtani because no matter what we do, we run out of platitudes. Since he's come into Major League Baseball, only Judge and Schwarber have more jacks. And only one pitcher, DeGrom, has a lower ERA. I mean, that's the same guy. That makes no sense.
Yeah, that's absolutely crazy to think about. And, I'm tired of him winning the MVP. I'll be honest with you. I'd like to see a Matt Olson, who's having a really great season himself. 310, 14 jacks, 36 RBIs for by far the best team in baseball, the Braves. But, Ohtani, he's got 7 home runs. He's hitting like 250, 20 RBIs, 18 RBIs, 6 stolen bases, a ho-hum season. But the guy's probably going to get 30 home runs, 140, or maybe not 140, maybe 90 RBIs and 20 stolen bases. And he's definitely in contention to win the Cy Young. Now, Paul Skeens is having himself a hell of a season as well. And I don't know if you watched that game last night, but Ohtani was in a couple of jams there. Like, he hasn't been flawless by any stretch. The thing with him is, what's so crazy with him is his curveball is 26 miles an hour slower than his fastball.
Wow.
Literally, his curveball is 72, his sweeper is 84, his cutter's 95, and his fastball is like 98. It's not 102. It's not Mizorowski. But, the guy is really knows how to pitch, and he pitches well. Do I think he's gonna start getting hit? Yes, I do. I don't think he's gonna sustain that .82, and last night he almost got hit. So I don't think that's going to sustain. But still, yeah, he's obviously probably the most talented baseball player of all time at this point. I don't know how you can say he's not.
It was funny. Last night I was watching it, and Ohtani, I think he was at 100 pitches. They had somebody up in the bullpen. Giants had Adames at second. There was only one out. And Adames the whole time has his back to the plate, and he's joking around with Mookie Betts. Fly ball by Gilbert. And, Adames runs home because there's 3 outs. No, there was only 1 out, and they doubled him up. So it helps Ohtani, too, when you have boneheaded base running.
Oh, yeah. No, exactly. I looked at that. I looked at the first three innings of that game, and even the first inning, he was in trouble a couple of times. So, again, is he gonna have probably a 2.0, 2.5 ERA? Yes, he will. But that's still incredible.
Yeah.
That's still incredible for Major League Baseball to be that good on both sides of the plate.
Yeah. All right. The first team to 30 wins are the Braves, and no one spends more money than the Mets, and the Phillies certainly spend a lot of money. No one expects much out of Washington, Miami, but that whole division is under 500 except for the best team in baseball. And you mentioned Matt Olson, a guy who I got to know when he was at Oakland. He's a really great guy, and I root for him personally as well. But what about these Bravos as the best team?
Chris Sale, another guy that's in that MVP conversation. Drake Baldwin, or the Cy Young. Drake Baldwin's having a really good year. They have Riley. They have Acuna. They just have a really talented roster. And for a while there, Olson wasn't hitting. He hit really well two or 3 years ago, and then I think the last 2 years he's been hurt, and he just hasn't hit at all. So now that he's hitting, they're just a really, really tough team to beat because they have so many ways to beat you, and then they have good pitching as well.
When I look at the National League West, Giants, Diamondbacks, Rockies, none of those teams will be wild cards, but you probably will have a wild card between San Diego and L.A. And L.A. is, they're 5-5 in their last 10. San Diego right now, half a game up on them. That could be a good little Southern California battle. Now, you would, as we were saying earlier, once you run the marathon, the Dodgers will be out in front. Or will they? Do you think San Diego can hang with L.A.?
I think Mason Miller is the most impressive pitcher maybe I've ever seen in my life. And I think that they're going to be active at the deadline. Michael King is pitching really well. Griffin Canning is pitching really well. The Padres are playing well, and Tatis, I think he's still homerless on the year. Is that going to be a thing that's going to sustain? I don't think so. Merrill, Machado, Sheets, they play together. They've played together for quite some time. Yeah, I wouldn't. The Dodgers, maybe there's a Kyle Tucker curse or something, but The Dodgers have all this talent. Even Pages is playing really good.
Yeah.
And you know what? And remember, last year, I think one of the reasons why the Dodgers won was because nobody saw Blake Snell all year, and they had Kershaw too. And then Snell came up in the World Series and just blew. He had two really great outings in the World Series and in the playoffs. And they like all their cards are on the table this time. Sasaki, Yamamoto, Snell. Who's the pitcher that I'm missing? Robleski he's gotten hit a couple times, but he's been pretty good. So all the cards are on the table for them. Do they have the starting pitching to win the World Series? And people obviously think they're going to obviously Ohtani, right? Yeah. But people think
and you have
they're going to
and Glasnow too.
And Glasnow. I mean, people think they're going to 6 or 7 Pete. And I mean, Snell, Yamamoto, Ohtani, Glasnow, that's pretty impressive. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, Suzuki.
But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, they should, but I guess I wouldn't be shocked if a team could stop them. I mean, it'd be the Padres.
All right. Well, I just have about a minute here. I want to ask about the Central because astoundingly, 6 weeks in, all 5 teams still have a winning record. Even Cincinnati with a minus 40 run differential. They're still a game over. So you can't count anybody out, but I think everybody sort of feels like maybe this is the year for the Cubbies and PCA and the bleacher bums. What do you think about that division?
I like it. It's baseball. That's the way baseball should be. You got 3 really good teams, I think. One probably exceptional team in the Cubs. You got a couple of underperformers. Choria's not playing for the Brewers yet, but he will be. That'll be a big impact for them. The Reds, J.J. Bleday just keeps going yard. He's got 2 today. They're up 11-0. Chase Burns is a very underrated pitcher. Obviously top 2 pick, but as far as a pitcher goes, very underrated. They still got De La Cruz. Stewart's playing well. Andrew Abbott, Lodolo. I mean, I think that's going to be probably the most competitive division in baseball. And any of those teams could have it. I mean, like they all do several things really well. And if I had to choose, I mean, obviously, Pete Crow and Ben Brown and Imanaga and that Cubs team and Bregman. I mean, they've got a lot of talent on that team. But I really like these Reds. They've got a really good bullpen. They've got a top 5 bullpen. They hit home runs, they steal bases, and they've got some pretty good pitching as well. Even Rhett Lauder. Rhett Lauder was another top 5 pick he got smoked one outing, but he played pretty well the others. So yeah, don't be surprised if the Reds come out of that division.
There he is, JD Sharp, Pro Wagering. Email him sharp at betmypicks.com. JD, have a good weekend. Thanks for coming on.
Hey, thanks a lot, Rick.
All right, I'm Rick Tittle. There's still time to get in at 1-800-878-7529.
It's more than a rebellion. When your teen is slipping into drugs or alcohol, when social media and pornography consume their time and their mind, when depression and even suicidal thoughts cast a shadow over your home, as a parent, you feel powerless. There is hope. At Turnabout Ranch, troubled teens step away from the chaos and into a clarity of nature on a working cattle ranch. Care for horses, learn responsibility, build trust, and rediscover purpose. It isn't theory, it's real work, real therapy, real healing. Families from across the country have found transformation right here, just when they thought hope was gone. If your teen is struggling with addiction, harmful online behaviors, even weight management, call right now and get the help you all need.
800-219-2494. 800-219-2494. 800-219-2494. That's 800-219-2494.
My fellow Americans, let the message ring out that from this day forward, when you buy American, you buy the best. Handcrafted, something premium, something pure. For this is the very essence of what our servicemen and women gave their lives to protect, and by God, we shall not allow their sacrifice to be forgotten. It's time to show the world just how great American can be. And we will not wait for tomorrow to come. We will stand here, this moment, together, and we will start today. Don't ever forget how great it is to be American. The America we need right now. American Premium Vodka. Celebrate responsibly.
Listen, were you forced into getting a solar contract and now you just don't want it anymore? Maybe the solar company misled you. Or is your solar contract buried with hidden fees? Are you not saving the amount of money you thought you would on your energy costs? Don't worry. At the Solar Exit Hotline, we can help you cancel your solar contract, even if the panels are already installed. Our experienced legal team will review your contract and help you cancel it, possibly saving you thousands of dollars. You got to call right now for complete details. So listen, if you're not happy with your solar contract for any reason, we are here to help you cancel it. Call the Solar Exit Hotline now for immediate options to help you exit your solar contract. This call is 100% free.
800-826-4073. 800-826-4073. 800-826-4073. That's 800-826-4073.
You know, like kickboxing, that's my favorite sport. Kickboxing is great. When you think about it, it combines the style and grace of boxing with kicking.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, tell me, mirror, what is wrong? Can it be my de la clothes or is it just my de la song? What I do ain't make-believe. People say I sit and try, but when it comes to being de la, it's just me, myself, and I. It's just me, myself, and I. It's just me, myself, and I. It's just me, myself, and I.
Rick Tittle can usually be found at He Baby Mama House.
All right. While Giants fans lament that Willie Adames is under contract for 5 more years and Chapman for 4 more years and Devers for 7 more years, you look at bad contracts like Anthony Rendon and such. I didn't know Chris Bryant was still technically in baseball. He only played 11 games last year for the Rockies. He only played in 37 games the year before that. He has not played at all this year. He has chronic lumbar degenerative disc disease, which sounds very bad, and that's not good for your back. They owe him $81 million. Now, of course, Chris Bryant was a huge star back in the day. Didn't he have a cup of coffee with the Giants? Was that a fever dream?
No, he was their big playoff trade deadline acquisition. Nothing really happened.
Just a rental, right? Yeah. It just occurred to me. I think he played for the Giants for 5 minutes. But that's no problem. I mean, that's no fault of Chris Bryant. He didn't try to go out and get severe, terrible, chronic lumbar degenerative disc disease. But he doesn't have to do anything, and he gets $81 million, which is that's what, you know what? Like I said, you want to sign him to that? That's the risk you got to take. All right. I am Rick Tittle. We will see you tomorrow at 9 a.m.